present moment and to be able to apprehend and manifest truth in the only thing that exists here, which is the present moment, right? And to allow that force, our creative force which never lies dormant, to allow that to be subverted to where it serves destruction. It serves death. And what I'm here to tell you, sir, is when enough human beings, which is not going to happen, by the way, but if enough human beings align themselves with their true essence within themselves, then death and destruction would no longer exist here. There would be no death here. Now, the body would die, and that would be a celebration. That would be what? That would be a spirit whose essence is to vibrate at the highest possible level, right? With the most super intelligent force of love possible. It's that spirit leaving this place and returning to source, as far as I can tell. Praise Almighty God in the mighty name of Christ Jesus. Hopefully never to return to this place. Meaning to no longer experience death and destruction. Because it seems to me like the temptation, right? The story of the knowledge of the tree of good and evil in the garden. It seems to me that as long as the spirit is willing to entertain the possibility that there might be something better than to be aligned with the highest possible level of vibration, right? As long as that potential exists, all forms of energy that are untested and unwilling, what's up, Venus? That are untested and unwilling or unable to pass that test, well, maybe they're only pretending to be aligned with the highest possible levels, because accept no substitute. Right? So this is the test, and I aim to pass it. So states, right? Both mentally and spiritually. And you can do the same, I expect. The solipsism is because I will never truly be able to experience any of this except for my own limited forms. So that's the solipsism. And the solipsism is philosophically correct. It's this realm that tries to tell me, oh, well, what you're preaching on here is solipsism, and then make fun of me. Right? And, oh, that's, philosophy 101. Don't you know any better than that? By what authority? By what authority? Because correct philosophy is the absence of incorrect philosophy. My path is progress, and in the course of fulfilling my purpose, if that ends up affirming solipsism, so be it. So be it. I'm okay with that. You might not be ready for that. That's okay. It's not my business. But maybe it's Carl's business. Because Carl's also not my business. Because it ain't a team sport. There's no such thing as strength in numbers. There's no security here. You want to feel secure? I feel pretty fucking secure. Secure in my knowing of what I am. I'm secure in that. Who I trust? Who I trust? Me. Who you trust, man? I damn sure don't trust this government. I damn sure don't trust this government. I'd like to drop a link and just backstage myself and just listen to the rebuttals. I'd love it. Because you can't debunk righteousness. Righteousness can't be debunked. There ain't no debunking righteousness. You calling yourself righteous? I am righteous. When I'm aligned mind, body, and spirit with my nature, which is the most super intelligent force of love possible at the highest level vibrational energy, cannot be anything but righteous. The highest level of vibrational energy possible is not capable. The highest level of vibrational energy possible is not capable. The highest level of vibrational energy possible is not capable of unrighteousness. How about that? Or even if he was that, he would behave consistent with his nature and say, well, Eve, you know, I'm fond of you, but I got to turn you in. I got to snitch because I'm not going down for your iniquity, Eve. See, that's what's going to happen next time they Walmart or the grocery store, or God forbid, the little chickie poo who started talking to me with her fella standing right there, walked right up next to me and started talking to me in the Walmart in Hope, Arkansas. And I'll just look at her. And if she don't say nothing, I'll say, oh, a godly woman, are you? And then however she responds, I'll say, well, I'm pretty sure only a godly woman would be sidling up to me in this manner. Because if not, that means you Jezebel. That means you coming to tempt me. Well, sorry about your luck, Toots. I have transcended that particular enjoyment of the flesh. Been delivered from that particular enjoyment of the five senses. The gratification of myself carnally via my body and, you know, my former partners congressionally. Yep. And then further, I guess you a virgin because God say, and I guess you want to get pregnant with my child because I didn't realize that was in my path, but I guess that's up to God. But I'm really not trying to bring no new people here, and I'm not going to be having no relations outside of marriage, and I can't marry nothing but a virgin because biblical marriage apparently is when I have relations with a virgin. Apparently, that's the biblical definition of biblical marriage. It ain't got nothing to do with something dead, which is what the government said is marriage. See? So I guess if you meet all that criteria, then I guess we can talk further. Find us a chaperone. I'm not trying to be tempted here. See how it works? See how it works? And that's the thing about people, and I'm not mad at you, Carl. Please don't misunderstand me. I'm not talking to Carl here, but I keep seeing this word, which is fine, but the fact that her fellow was present, and maybe he might like watching her chat up a more, arguably dominant, member of the species, arguably, that's got nothing to do with me, see? Because if she ain't no virgin, then sadly, and I shouldn't say sadly, because I'm almost certain I'm not getting married for the third time. Ex-wife number 1 was probably a virgin. Ex-wife number 2 definitely was not a virgin. So was she ever my wife if she wasn't a virgin when we got together? I don't know. Maybe that was only a dead marriage, meaning maybe that was a marriage in name only. Maybe we weren't actually married. Maybe that was all fornication. I don't really know. It's a good question. Yeah, there you go. Well, see, Carl, I must not allow myself to identify with that, but I do get the humor. I do see the humor in what you're saying. She did that, not me. It wasn't me. That was not my intention, sir. My intention was to purchase some eggs. Get the fuck out of there as soon as possible. That was my intention. Delete that. Oh look, more coffee. What my lucky day. What a blessing. And I've been saying for years now it's all blessings and didn't even know what I meant. It's all blessings. Because everything that ain't blessings is what? Dead. Well, I'm not aligned with anything that's not blessings. If it ain't a blessing, it don't pertain to me. If it ain't blessings, I'm not aligned with it. See? But just like when these street people, my fellow street urchins, the urchin means child, but my fellow street dwellers would approach me because they probably thought I was a fellow drug addict. Never lived that life, thankfully. When they thought I was one of them, potentially. And I got to where I'd start saying to them, oh, you gonna walk my walk? Meaning, oh, okay, I'm walking my walk, both physically and metaphorically. And then they sidle up to me trying to see what I'm all about. I just said, oh, you gonna walk my walk? I don't think you equipped for this walk, partner. I don't think you equipped for this walk, partner. Meanwhile, I suspect everybody's equipped for this walk.
All right, everybody. Welcome back to Out of This World Live. I am your host, Patrick, a.k.a. OTW. Welcome back, everybody. Shout out to the chat. We got 6 people in the house. Hit that like button. Share this out. What's up, y'all? Nice to see you. Mr. TA with 72 is in the chat. Channel member. Ladies and gentlemen, we also have Red hashtag 40. Says, can't wait for Gay Tarek to bring the gossip again today. What a joke he is. What's up, Red? All right, we got Logical Sparks in the house. So welcome to the show, Logical Spark. We got Mr. Bear Jew saying, Nama slave. Let's freaking go. Let's freaking go. Let's get rid of this overlay. This is the overlay. Where's the overlay? Where are you? Hello? I'm lost in my own program. Aha! Here I am. Welcome back. All right, give me a 5x5 for the mic check. Let's see how that sounds. Are we sounding good? We coming in loud and clear? Yeah, let's check the audio. Mic check. 1, 2. Testing. Hello. All right. So we got that out of the way. Now that that's done, welcome to the show, y'all. Yeah. Today's topic is corruption, the price for success. Now, to illustrate this particular topic, I have come up with an idea. Right. Yesterday, I was over at Mr. Wrestler's channel, and they were having this particular conversation about selling out. And it was pretty interesting, but I couldn't stick around. So I said, hey, I want to continue this conversation today. So I figured I'll review, because I was on there yesterday. I'll review that today. And maybe not all of it. It all depends. It was a 5-hour stream. I guess we'll review it as long as it stays on topic, because I did have to leave the show at a certain point, and I wasn't able to carry on the conversation, because I did want to get into it with Wrestler for some particular reason. And I told him I want to get back to you on that, because there was someone on the show that was like totally taking over. But Tarek wants the link, so let me drop the link. Tarek, I think, does have the news, sending me messages early on this week saying that he's got a lot of gossip. So that is always entertained here. So we'll let that happen as soon as Tarek is ready. It's not Tarek, that's Cage. Oh, you guys almost have the same avatar. Wow. All right, so Cage Reality says you could drop the link. It's a new day. I just did. Anyway, so that was for Cage. Right. So let me get this video ready here. Hold on a second. I got it. It's done. That was quick. Add to stage. Here it is, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, and I do believe my background kind of like screwed up. There we go. Okay, background's working again. What's up, Cage?
Same old. I'm not trying to interrupt. What are we looking at?
Today's topic is corruption the price for success?
Not necessarily. There's other paths, right? Like the easy way to success is probably through corruption. But if you have patience and you really put the work in, and that, you can be successful without being corrupted. It's a bit harder though.
What's with your voice? Are you do you have a cold or something? You sound a little like how do you say, like, your voice sounds a little like you smoked a lot of weed all night long.
Yeah. Can you hear me now better?
Yeah, but how come you sound?
I had to change the microphone, bro.
How come you sound like the penguin?
Because I triple layered the fucking the poutine, the cheese curds, triple layered that.
Yeah, that's a weird sound voice you got there, man.
That's crazy.
It's totally
I'm
crazy.
gonna start speaking French.
Yeah, you should, because with that voice, you would sound really, really cool in French.
Je m'appelle Cage, comment ça va?
Oh, yeah, that sounds totally badass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not bad, though.
I was having fun with it, though.
Ça va bien, merci beaucoup. What the fuck? You didn't even give me a proper...
You almost sounded like an Italian. Yeah, an Italian that was trying to speak French. It's like you almost sounded like Lubas.
Oh, no. Roadkill?
All right, so we got what's up, Cynthia in the chat, Caucasian Sasquatch, Mr. E. Wow,
I'm out here with my bag of frozen pierogies. You know what I mean?
You got no pierogies.
I'm out here with frozen pierogies.
You're a pierogi-less man.
They call me Keith Kowalski. You know what I mean?
No,
come on.
All right, so just like not to detract too far away from the topic, we're already fucking around. We just started.
It's entertainment. Look, you got people watching now.
All right, so let's listen. This is Restless broadcast from yesterday. I joined in. The topic was essentially like today's broadcast is kind of like a spin-off off of this broadcast, because his was the title was something about sellouts. Hold on, let me go look at the title. The title was Opinionated Are Your Morals for Sale? Yeah, okay. So that's his title. Mine is more
Bro,
like,
I have you, if I give you enough money, I guarantee we'll have you doing jumping jacks on the corner.
dude, I was like, I never even actually got a chance to answer any of the questions that were asked on the broadcast. So I was like, well, wait a minute, man. What am I'm the most corrupt motherfucker up there?
All you gotta do is add like a triple layer of like the cheese, the mozzarella curds, and the poutine or what.
Oh yeah, man. I
Okay.
was like, yeah, you're right. The
All right,
potato
if I give
thing,
you $300 right now, will you go on camera and do like 300 jumping jacks? You get
300?
$1 per jumping
Holy
jack. You
shit!
get
I'll be jumping
$300.
jacking all fucking day.
See what I mean?
Yo, I'm not sure if 300 is enough for jumping jacking.
No, I need 300 jumping jacks properly on camera. I'll give you $300 right now if you do it.
Can I do that on my own time?
No, you have to do it on camera now.
Nah,
You're
man.
employed.
We're not gonna. I have to think about the audience. You know, I mean, $300 is nice, but
I will
man,
give you $300 right now for 300 jumping jacks on camera. So you're saying we have to bribe you a different way?
well, because I care about the viewers. So I just noticed. Wow, I couldn't get corrupted in that manner. But I am corruptible, though. I know I am.
All right, you can make 300. No one's ever gonna pay you to help yourself and do 300 jumping jacks
That's true.
on camera. You know what I mean? $1
true.
per. What the fuck? Like, do it. If you do it literally right now, I'll actually send you it right now on YouTube Live.
And make sure to hit the like button.
But I'd rather send it direct, right? Because they're gonna take like 30-40% or whatever. Yeah, you do it.
Do at least
On
30
camera, I'll send you $300 right now.
If that's the case, YouTube should do 30 or 40 jumping jacks.
Yeah, we're gonna get fucking YouTube and the CEO, all these little fuckers. They're all doing jumping jacks with you at that point.
I should actually put a terms of service for my channel concerning YouTube. You know, since we are partners, I'm gonna have to, you know, if I get paid to do something and YouTube takes a percentage off of that, well, YouTube also has to do that. I mean, that's only normal, right? I mean, I think that's a logical move to do. So I1T just walked in. We got also Special K. What's up, Special K? All right, let me drop a link. We haven't even started watching the video yet. Okay, I'm starting a video right now. I'm going to just like bring it up to 1.25 speed and go for it. Welcome to Restless Show. 25 people watching. Hit the like button. Rebecca Joe's in the house. And is this thing starting?
Nasty and hyper.
Aha.
All right. And to you nasty and hyperallergenic people, yes, I washed my hands. I don't know how many of y'all crazy like that, but yes. Chef Man, what's going on?
Yeah, where I
We got to bring up
come from, you don't have to wash your hands after you urinate because
crazy.
they taught us not to. They taught us not to urinate on our hands. Yeah.
What's going on?
Is it weird? This is kind of on topic. Is it weird that I don't troll you during your intros anymore because it takes you longer to get through the intros then? Because you'll address like the radical stuff that I say sometimes, and it just takes longer for you to get through it. So I don't do it no more because I'm just trying to keep the chat spicy. So I switched it up to other things, right? You know, I just try to make the show better.
I mean, I do what I do, but there are plenty of people who even tell
I know.
me. There are people who tell me, you know, you shouldn't pay attention to the chat. I'm like, I'm used to reading, so I like going through the chat. I like knowing what people's perspectives and what they're thinking.
The chat is what makes the show. If there's no chat, there's no show. Really.
I agree. What's going on, gentlemen? Oh, let me put up people's names. So we
Hey there, guys.
All right, so the show's just starting, and this is where.
Oh, not too much. It's a topic that interests me, but I'm going to wait until the conversation happens to be just the right wave to surf before I jump in.
There you go. There you go. See,
I normally don't do this, but I'm going to do this right now.
Yeah.
If you have a really good question, not to troll, not to just put out BS, because I do read things, but if you have a really good, insightful question that maybe even the chat and everybody, the panel want to talk about,
do me a favor, what the fuck are you
at
watching,
me, at Wrestler, so that I can see it. But if it's just regular old bullshit, I'm not even gonna bother.
Well, the topic is really interesting, man, and it's really good. And once the conversation gets lit, man, it's well, anyway, it interests me, right?
I got to work in the back. Hold
on a second. Yeah, do that. But and there's a certain point during this conversation where I would have loved to have an interaction with Wrestler and talk to him about this topic. But I told him we'll get back to it, but then I had to go, so I wasn't able to get around to that. So I figured I'd address that here today while watching it, because I showed up kind of like a little bit later, so I didn't see the beginning. I just like popped in. He was already in the middle of the topic. There was like 10 panelists almost or something like that. Well, there's a few anyway. Short-term memory loss. All right, I'll blame it on that.
Blame that. Yeah, we'll blame that.
The first time I'm actually gonna say that. Normally I try to get rid of it because obviously writing in all caps is not gonna do it. I'm not gonna get my attention. I will just ignore it. But if it's a really good one that you really thought about and you really think it's gonna be a good point to bring up or a good point for us to go through here on the panel, you can do that. Because I think it's something, when we get into this idea of morals, is something that we really need to cover. And I'm thinking about different type of shows for this, because a lot of people, pretty much everybody claims that they have morals, but also people claim that they have values based on what values they borrowed from other people, not that they have these particular values themselves. But again, based on what I'm just saying right now, when it comes to people saying that they have their values, and I would never sell my values, but some of the highest preachers, spiritual people, and everything else that's up there, we see scandals, we see internet shit, we see shit happening all over the place. And again, it's not just people who are religious, people across the board. And I've met plenty of people, by the way, who are spiritual. I agree. I came up spiritual in my family before I started taking a step back. And I meet plenty of people who are religious who then turn around and look. Great example. Shit just hit me in my fucking head. Even when I have like someone like GS come by and he's like, you have brought forth things as someone who's like not doing that anymore and made me think otherwise. Because so many people will even try to say that anyone who is not religious has no morals, and I think that's fucking crazy. So
yeah,
if you look at
what do you think about that, Cage? Oh yeah, he's doing something. Damn it! All right, I need somebody else up here.
I'm here. What's their question?
I was gonna say, if you were you listening?
Not really.
Oh man. Well, see, okay, I'm gonna just
give me the fucking breakdown.
I'll drop the link.
Ask me the
link for anyone who wants to actually participate in this broadcast.
I'm participating. I'm here, man. My bad. I gotta put my headphone on.
All right, I'm gonna back it up a bit and listen to what Wrestler's saying.
I'm gonna bother bringing it up to the forefront. So the first time I'm actually gonna say that. Normally I try to get rid of it because obviously writing in all caps is not gonna do it. I'm not gonna get my attention. I will just ignore it. But if it's a really good one that you really thought about, and you really think it's going to be a good, because I think it's something, when we get into this idea of morals, is something that we really need to cover. And I'm thinking about different type of shows for this, because a lot of people, pretty much everybody claims that they have morals, but also people claim that they have values based on what values they borrowed from other people, not that they have these particular values themselves. But again, based on what I'm.
So what are your thoughts on that?
He's making some points in that, but as he's making the points, he's full of number 2 also.
Which means?
Full of shit.
I'm just saying right now, when it comes to people saying that they have their values, and I would never sell my values, but some of the highest preachers, spiritual people, and everything else that's up there, we see scandals, we see internet shit, we see shit happening all over the place. And again, it's not just people who are religious, people across the board. And I've met plenty of people, by the way, who are spiritual. I came up spiritual in my families before I started taking a step back. And I meet plenty of people who are religious who then turn around and look. Great example, shit just hit me in my fucking head. Even when I have like someone like GS combined, and he's like, you have brought forth things as someone who's like not doing that anymore, and made me think otherwise. Because so many people will even try to say that anyone who is not religious has no morals, and I think
is that true? Motherfucker.
No, it's not fucking true at all. You're painting with a broad brush, and it's all about the details in that. You're an artist, right? So it's like, imagine someone gave you like a paint roller, and they make a fucking portrait or whatever. The fuck, you have a paint roller, you just paint walls a certain color.
fucking crazy. So
Yeah,
if we look at both people, if you look at both people who are moral, who are religious and non-religious, I'll just put it that way. If everybody still have morals, if anybody can do it, because we see from religious figures and non-religious figures, are your morals for sale? And personal thought to yourself, don't have to say shit. How much would it take for you to compromise on your own? Just some food for thought.
Not to this. I hope you don't see this as a distraction from the topic, but it's kind of like, I think it was Andrew Wilson, but I can't remember exactly who said it, about how rights don't exist unless they're backed up by violence. And I took that to heart because it's true. And it's the same thing with morals. Morals are all based on violence. That's it. It's all
That's
about
not true at all.
Violence is the fundamental force in humanity.
You can pause it there.
Yeah, I kind of disagree because I think that's true. I think that over time,
well, there's compliance, but that has nothing to do with a human being. It's beyond human being.
The morals were established through probably heinous actions, man. You know,
no, there's a law, there's an algorithm to reality, and if you disobey that, then you fuck around, you're gonna find out.
So you're saying that there's objective
humans
morality.
know about it, no, but it has nothing to do with a human being.
I say objective morality doesn't exist. It's all subjective morality.
So it's all me mentality. It's all subject.
Yeah, it's all like,
and reality. The algorithm of reality is kind of curated to the observer. So yeah, in a way, you're right.
Right.
It's going to be perfectly
it involves the
curated
ego.
to you. Yeah.
It involves the ego, and everyone has an ego. So your moral compass, I think, is all depending on where you're raised or by whom you're raised, right? It's not something that you believe is pre-established as an objective.
Damn, I'm from
foundation.
the farm. Fuck, what happens to me now?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, people get their morals from the people that raise them and their surroundings and their life experience. They do
What
not
do you
get
think?
it.
So you're saying, is there that assumption you're saying other people have to raise somebody up? What if you raise yourself?
Yeah, that's something that happens later down the line.
Yeah.
I get you need to be guided first. You have to be shown how
What
to
do you
walk
mean?
before you can walk.
Not everybody's guided.
Anyway,
everything that we talk about day in and day out is either violence or not violence.
Hooray for violence.
And violence is not a bad thing.
No, it's the way you use it that makes it bad.
That's right. Like that lady about 5, 6, 7 years ago, who they stopped to ask her directions. She was in a big truck, and then the guy grabbed her purse through the window and ran. No, he was in the truck, and then grabbed it, and the old lady fell down. I would have hurt that person, and I would see that as good violence.
I want to answer. I'm sorry. I didn't know if you were done or not. I thought it sounded like you were about to end. Sorry.
No, that was done, buddy. You're good.
So to
violence should only be in self-defense.
The conversation didn't come up about. So here's my thing. I came from an area that did bounties. Pretty much, you can say started the whole bounty shit, right? I don't have a problem with bounties. I don't personally have a problem with bounties. I have a problem with the abuse of bounties because sometimes, if we're really going to be having conversations, really good conversations, the aspect of bounties compromises, the dirty word, compromises the integrity of why a bounty is used. Because
Right. So there's two things I wanted to say. Good morning to Joe. And there I do agree that I might have some level of solipsism. There could be a part of my, yes, I do see that. But there is a part that I don't
It's all
agree.
you, right, OTW? No one outside of you exists.
No. But there's a part that I don't agree with the solipsism state of mind, is the fact that what was it? Yeah, like I don't believe that.
They're in French. Maybe they'll understand it in French.
No. But I just don't believe that I'm the only thing that exists in this existence. It's not exactly like that I see it. It's like I think that, you know, we're all the same being experiencing life from all types of different perspectives. It's like, you know, God separating himself into 8.5
Like the macro and microcosm
billion people, yeah, and you know, kind of like erasing his own memory so he wouldn't know that he's God, and then interact with himself. Does that make any sense? I don't know.
I don't know. You know, it's kind of weird. It made me think about something. You know what I mean? There's this.
that's just
When I was in elementary school, they put us in groups and that to do projects. And yeah, I was in a group, and this one child there, whatever. We're all children. She was like, "Oh, my grandmother told me that you see how everybody has an indentation on their lip, on their upper lip."
Yeah. Okay.
So it has to do with the sign of silence or something. But you know, as a kid, and like, you know, the kid, I don't know. For some reason, I always remember this. She's like an angel came down and, like, you know, Chloe did the sign of silence thing, and that's why there's an indentation on your front upper lip.
Huh.
On your, you know, like they wiped it in a way, but like for you to learn, you know, to protect you. Yeah. That's what she was trying to say, you know. Raquel.
say, here's the example. Let's just say me and dudes up here, right? He and I have really, really good conversations. He and I are chopping it up. We can be on all kind of levels, philosophical, I don't know, mathematics, fucking theorizing, conspiracy, whatever. But if you say, I don't like this motherfucker dude. Any way he goes, I'm gonna pay to drop him, even though it's beneficial to everybody else on the panel or even in the chat. How well did that conversation turn out if he can't say his piece?
Well, Resla, I think that's a matter of supply and demand, man. There's a lot of demand to take somebody off a panel, but not a whole bunch of supply. So I think you should outrageously jack up the prices.
Yep, that for sure. That, and also they can say what they want to in chat.
But so I love the fact that they can say whatever they want to in chat. No problem with that. I pretty much give open, even though I probably shouldn't. I give a pretty open leeway to people who are in the chat, because sometimes I have to really regulate people who are up here on panel, and I you guys know I really don't try to go hard on that.
So he's I guess asking himself the question, is it moral to you know, like over here we call it beheadings, right? So we behead people with the guillotine. I guess he's asking himself if that's ethically or morally correct to take money to kick someone off a panel while
no, but they're saying they should outrageously
raise
the prices, right? So
right, but
saying, like, how can we milk this even more while fucking?
But I think he's asking himself, is it worth it to like,
probably
let's say,
not
destroy the conversation for, let's say, a $10, right?
Yeah, like if you're like a homeless person on the fucking street, yeah, why not?
Yeah. But then my counter, my counter to that is, well, if the panelists are willing, it's maybe just a 5-minute wait, and then the conversation continues, right? I don't know.
Fucking 10. Imagine you give. That's how easy they're controlled. That means they're a bitch. Literally a bitch. To what, $10? Are you kidding me?
Or is it a service that you're offering?
Not if you're trying to monetize it.
What if it's entertaining?
What if
the audience gets a kick out of it?
So what if you put subliminal messages and have cable TV?
Okay, never mind.
So I give a little bit the same way how I say I give more respect to anyone who shows up on the panel. It's the same way in the adverse effect is that I give a little bit more leeway.
All right, hold on a second. We have somebody backstage here. I believe she has been here before. KC, I believe. Do you know KC, Cage? I think you've...
Yeah, she's good. Don't worry about her.
KC?
Yes.
All right. Welcome to the show.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Welcome back.
I was going to donate $10 to get Cage off your stage.
No, I think we need 33 minimum, like maybe like $333 minimum to kick me off. You know what I mean?
Done.
We need
No,
like
no.
$3,000 minimum.
The rules are in the description. I'm now pasting the rules in the description of the show. So anybody wants to know how the rules work for the game, they're in the description. So everybody has access to those rules. All right, we got Mr.
Access
Max
to the rules
Vision
in the description
in the
of the
house.
game. Perfect.
Hey, how you doing?
Good morning, Max.
All right, so the topic today, guys, is corruption the price for success? So in other words, are you willing to be corrupted?
How come
attain-
success has to come with corruption? Right? You don't have to be corrupted to have success. Right? You can do it properly.
Right, but I'm asking the question: is corruption
No,
the price?
no, it isn't. For
But
a
for
lot of
some it
people,
is.
they want it easy, right? If you want the easy way.
Right, but for some it is. This is what I'm saying. So, like,
Yeah. So sometimes,
question is,
you know,
in other words, is corruption a price for success for you? Maybe I should have changed the title.
for me, no.
So you would you are you?
I don't care about their money.
Okay, so you're saying you're practically incorruptible.
I buy gold. Yeah.
So you can't be swayed by money.
No.
Interesting. How about you, Casey?
It actually kind of offends me and like it insults my intelligence when people are trying to throw money around, right? So I was just making a point to just take it away.
Can money influence your decisions, Casey?
Has it in the past? Yes.
Well, I guess the question is now, how about right now? Like, or maybe the
How about now?
She needs like a bunch of zeros at the end.
Yeah, you gotta have 5, 6 zeros.
Yeah. Come back to me.
all depending on which situation you would find yourself in, right?
It depends where you're at. Right. I mean.
All right. So, without like necessarily wanting to pry, but do you have any children?
I would prefer not to answer that question.
Well, okay. Well, hypothetically, let's say you do. In that case, if you did, would you be willing to be corrupted for the sake of, let's say, either your children's health, life, or
that's a good fire to lay under them.
Again, it depends on the circumstance.
Okay, so there is a woman that shows up on this panel that we're watching right now who actually says that she is completely incorruptible, like an untouchable. Like even she wouldn't even be swayed. She gave examples, or other people had given a few examples, like would she lie to prevent her children from going to jail? And she said no, right? So are you... do you resonate with that, or is it like would you lie to prevent your children from going to jail? Hypothetically speaking, of course.
Yeah, hypothetically speaking, I would not lie for my children to go to prison. No.
I want to lie.
So
but
you would let them go through that. You would let them, like, let's say somebody's facing 5 years. You would not lie. You would let them go through that 5 years of prison.
Yeah, I mean, if it was, obviously true that they were, it's held up in a court of law that it truly was them, like, I'd want to, I'd be on their side until proven guilty. But yeah, I wouldn't lie.
Okay. All right, how about you, Max?
I'm not sure. I've never been in that situation.
So you've never been in the position where you had the opportunity to be swayed by money to do something?
Not to
What
any
I
great
do,
degree now.
life has a funny way of working itself out, right? So if I had a kid and like, oh, they have to go to jail for 5 years. Over here, it's hard to go to jail for that amount of time. They let people out if they shoot each other. They let them out the next day. So over here, I'm like, yeah, you definitely fucked up big time, and maybe you got to learn something.
I think there might come a point between desperation. If I was in a desperate situation, I might be pressed into it. But other than that, if I'm doing okay in my life, I really don't think
let's put you in the same situation as we did with KC. Would you lie or
you don't have to lie. You can simply say, you don't have to play into their questioning. Right? You can say, I don't want to answer that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You have the right to fuck off.
What's your question there, OT? Sorry.
Well, the question is, would you, if let's say one of your family members, either children, wife, whatever, were their life was in danger in some way, and the only way to save them was, by accepting a certain amount of money, let's say.
Yeah.
Would you do it?
That's a toughie. I don't know. I suppose pressed into that situation, I might. Yeah.
There we go. See, sometimes there are impossible situations where you're put up against the wall and you have a choice to make. Do your morals go out the window?
Yeah, but all of a sudden, when that happens, all of a sudden the evidence is magically disappearing, changing, and you have nothing to worry about.
Well, you see, I would be like, to be completely straightforward here, is I would accept the money. I would save the life of my loved one, right? I would do it. I would be completely corruptible.
All right, so now we're placating it to you accept the money while the main thing is about accepting the money. It's not about the fucking kid you're saving.
Here, let's spice it up. You have to accept the money, but also in return, you have to do something that's ethically wrong. Let's say,
what kind of reality you're living in?
Yeah, take it the other way. So you have to do something that's corrupted to get the money.
Right.
I absolutely would refuse. Yes.
Fuck you and your money at that point.
If you refuse, then you're
I don't care. It doesn't matter. Leave me alone. If they don't want to leave people alone, then I'm able to fucking deal with them.
So you would literally say no and let
I've had offers and they said fuck yourself.
Wow, I'm fascinated by this topic, man. Like I'm at the point where
once a day maybe.
I'm at the point where I'll take the money and what the fuck is it you want me to do? I'd ask,
Is that easy? Huh?
For me, it's dude. I've had such a fucking
all right. So do 300
roller coaster of a life.
I can do, I'll pay you $1.
That now I'm at a point where, wait a minute, you think twice about this shit.
All right, I'm gonna start doing jumping jacks. I'll pay you $1.
OTW totally corruptible. Yeah. So.
Hold on, give me a second. I got the dog barking. Someone's at
hurry
the door.
up with your jumping jacks.
Talk amongst yourselves.
Yeah, I suppose there are situations where when life gets in the way, if people's lives are on the line, yeah, your corruptibility becomes a little more malleable. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I agree with you, Max. I don't know, I was about to call you Sam, but
well, malleable, like meaning it could be easily bent.
Well, yeah, if you're talking about somebody's life. What about your mother's life? If her life was up on the board, and they said, "Here,
probably not a board people want to be around."
Yeah. And we'll be able to save your mother's life.
None of my business.
Okay.
let's just hope we never get into these situations where we have this.
Of course. Very unlikely, but fun for conversation.
Fuck, we go further. All of a sudden, fucking Max is in General Tao chicken. I'm gonna talk about the human. I'm talking about the cat. You ever had General Tao chicken?
Yep.
There's probably Max in that.
Sounds say that.
Oh, Special K could be a bluff. Yeah, you don't know, right?
Everything tastes like chicken.
You don't know.
I heard, the secret behind their whole recipe is they use cornstarch. Yeah.
Oh, and lots of MSG.
A little MSG, pinch
Try to
of
get
that.
that MSG in there.
Fuck off.
Makes everything good.
And they fry it up quick on the fucking thing. You know what I mean? Is that's just ready in like 3 minutes.
I don't know how they cook it. I don't care. I just eat it, whatever it is. It's good.
You ever had bok choy?
Looks like you guys are frozen on the panel there. I haven't moved
Freeze.
at all.
Hands up. No, it's just that's not the panel. That's the screen share.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks.
You okay, Max?
I just woke up. So.
Yes. No.
Everyone might as well fucking freeze at this point either way. You never know with this weather over here.
Oh, I love our weather now. It's awesome. Great spring. Minus it goes from freezing to sweltering hot.
Seen the other day, it went from like hail to storms to rain to fucking 17 degrees.
We had everything.
After.
We got everything in one day. Freezing temperatures up to t-shirt weather.
Bless you.
I was on road either way. It was a nice weather for me.
All right, guys. I will be back. I was just trying to buy Cage off the stage, but I guess he's unpurchasable.
No, we have to donate money, right?
All right, exactly. Yes.
How much do we have to give?
How much would you like to extract? Like a slap across the head or like more? We need 33 of them.
Whatever the price is.
Yep.
I'm saying all he has to do is jumping jacks. I'll give him $300 if he does 300 fucking jumping jacks.
All right, guys. I'll talk to you.
No, talk, Casey. Take care.
See you, Casey. Here's a question: would you sell?
Can we get like at least nine jumping jacks, $300? What about that? If you can't, someone's offering $300 to do 9 jumping jacks. You can't do that on camera. Are you kidding me? Someone tell me about that. I'll be doing it all fucking day.
Yeah, that's pretty easy. We lost everybody.
If you really needed it either way, I'd give you whatever you want. Got the address still, you know what I mean? I should be sending you some. You know what I should be doing? I should be sending you something so you could experience that and maybe it'll change you. You know, the proper smoke.
You're too expensive.
What if I just, it's for free?
That's the first taste. I know how that works.
I'm not a fucking crack dealer over here, man. You're gonna have this first hit of meth or Xan. You take this pill. Yeah, it's free.
He puts fentanyl in his pot.
It's not fucking free, but I'll put the work in either way.
Hey, Caucasian Sasquatch.
That's sick. No, I do proper business. I make sure that nobody gets affected in a negative way at all, ever. When it gives people something. No, none of that. I hand trim and I'm there all the time. Even like people use like machine trimming and all that. No, I'm sitting there looking at every leaf and trimming it properly.
So his title is corruption the price for success? Yes. I would say yes.
Back to the old.
Depending on your definition.
Yeah, that's the easy way out.
Hello.
You don't want to put the work in.
I've been back there a minute. My bad.
Oh, I thought you weren't done.
Are y'all gonna watch this whole thing, or are we just doing the pattern? Because Resla's intro monologue was actually pretty decent last night. Although I will admit I went to sleep twice.
You need some proper background imagery or something. I can say something. I don't know.
Who do? Where? When?
Huh?
Why? Who?
Yeah, right.
How much does it cost, and can I get two for twice the price?
There you go.
No, we're gonna have to decimal that.
I'm not sure. OTW, how do you feel about that?
Not here.
Right? Lord. Yeah, I mean, he's just saying
on his own channel.
It's get a leak in their faucet. That's okay. Good to see you, girl. Fools and toes, welcome in. Appreciate it. Bexx. So, all right. Have y'all seen any of this, or I mean,
no,
none of it.
Any of it? No.
All right. Have you
Why
ever?
the fuck does it matter? We have like 4 different people on the panel. The fuck? You're gonna loop on a bunch of shit. Maybe next time we can loop on this.
All right, I'm back. Woohoo!
This is gonna be fun.
What's up, Sasquatch?
What's happening, baby? I'm chilling like a villain, cheating, robbing, rhyming, stealing.
Did you see this broadcast yesterday?
I was part of this broadcast yesterday. I popped in there
after I was gone, right?
Yeah, I think so.
All right,
I think so.
Well, it was a good conversation and also a great topic. Is one of the reasons why I wanted to actually spin off of that from yesterday, because I didn't really get the answers to my questions. So I said, fuck it, I'm going to review this today and go over the things that I didn't get an opportunity to yesterday. So yeah, your thoughts. What are your thoughts? Like, give us a quick rundown.
So I joined it. I was driving through most of this, so I didn't hear all of it, but I did sit and listen to the whole thing for about 15 minutes before I joined, so I wouldn't be coming in with my shoes off, And I really like Home Chick. Eliza, was that her name?
That was her name, yes.
Hey, buddy, what are you talking about? You have to take your shoes off over here.
She was incorrect. She was the one that I called untouchable. Cage, will you shut up? She was the one that I called yesterday the untouchable.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
but I'm saying, like, what do you mean you're not going to take your shoes off?
Never mind. We got rid of the problem. So what are you saying, Sasquatch?
So the thing is like, it's possible. And I'm not saying it is impossible. I'm saying it is a non-zero likelihood that she has never encountered a problem that required her to fold her morals. Or is it more likely that she did encounter a problem that caused her to do it and she regretted every second of it? Right?
Okay.
This might be an overreaction to something else that's happened in her life.
Right, because from Restless' point of view, everybody has a price. There are no incorruptibles.
It might not be money.
That's a good point. It could be more. It could be a lot more. Actually, it could be. It could be. Well, you know, it could
that's
be.
why they went for her kids. I mean, they went straight for her kids to try to use mother's love against her in her own ideological struggle. That's why I jump due diligence the way I do. He utilizes a highly, it's like talking about a dream that you had when you was a kid, right? A hypothetical in a debate. I can see where it can be useful, but when you carry it so far as to break any possibility of her being a human person, right? You're trying to say that it's impossible for people to have their morals, and it's not. There are Buddhists who have set themselves on fire for what they believe in. There are people who have starved to death for what they believe in.
Self-immolation.
Yeah. These people do this. So there are true believers out there, and it's possible that we came across one. I don't necessarily believe that, but it's possible. And so you have to at least respect the possibility.
But doesn't the corruptibility depend on the money? Isn't the corruptibility dependent upon whether you accept the money as the payment? Like the situation you could be pressed into, you would do anything regardless of whether it was money or whatever. Just accepting that, you know, you have to take money to save a life. Well, you know, I'm going to save a life no matter what, whether it's money or not. Right.
Right. But there's another dynamic to that, is like, if you're taking money to save a life, but at the same time, you also have to do something that goes against your values. Like, let's say,
well, that's why you have to have clear boundaries.
But I won't make it like too despicable, but let's say you have to let's say I'll give you an example. You're part of a vote. Shut up. You're part of a vote. You're part of a voting committee, and you have to make sure that one of them doesn't get elected, kind of thing, right? So you got to take the bribe, the money, and you got to do this particular thing to skew the results of the voting thing. And
according to who you're going to cast,
or else you're you're let's say you're one of your family members is gonna was taken away, and they're being held at a particular location.
Well, my family members don't play that game.
They're gonna hurt that person if you don't comply.
Yeah. What, I don't know, maybe in your little reality or whatever, but yeah, speak for yourself. Like, what are you talking about, bud?
Well, for me, that kind of takes it out of the realm of money, right? So it's not really being corrupted for money; it's being corrupted for love of a family member. You have to kind of.
Is there a difference there?
I think so.
I agree with you. I'm willing to do some truly heinous shit. Like, I will do some absolutely diabolical bullshit for my kids. You have no idea.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with this. I'm fine with it. I have no moral questions. There is no dilemma.
Well, I was saying
doing immoral things for money, I don't think I would do, but for people, yes.
But I do have a question. I actually tried to bring it up at Restless last night, and it never quite got around to it. But since you're going over it, I kind of want to bring it up here. If you're doing, like, it's not acceptable to accept money to say things that you don't believe. But what if you're a voice actor and that's what you do, is read other people's crap? If someone pays you to read some stuff that you disagree with, do you not do it, or do you just do it in a different voice that no one likes?
Yeah, maybe you were telling people to take a medication that you knew was wrong. Would you do it for money?
As a voice actor, absolutely. And not even a whole lot of money, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because I'm not out there standing on a street corner trying to push the strip. I'm literally sitting in my living room reading a freaking line and doing it in a very interesting voice.
Okay. And that is with the knowledge that you know that this medication is bad.
But I'm not caveating that one because I'm assuming all medications are bad, you know, and that advertising in general is probably immoral, but it's going to happen. I can't help that. And I would really like some money.
Yeah. I think I would refuse myself. I hope I would refuse. I think I
mean,
would.
Of course, I'm sure there's some line there that I just haven't considered where I'd be like, oh, no, I can't do that. I don't know what it would be because I'm just trying to make money doing some damn voice acting. Why is this such a problem? You know? I mean, dear God, if you got Alex Jones to come talk to you, what would you say to him immediately?
Hi.
How you doing? What's up, OTW? I hear you've taken up the reins whenever I lost them for boys. You've done a really good job. I appreciate what it is that you're doing.
I'd say, hi, Bill Hicks.
Right? God, I need my tinfoil hat for this. Woo, girl. Here we go. Bill Hicks is Alex Jones.
Yeah, we really had to put that full screen. You know, we couldn't help ourselves.
The only problem I have with Alex Jones is every time he starts talking about anything that makes any sense, he goes completely off the freaking rails. My personal favorite
isn't that
line.
the definition of a shill? Or
I mean, I don't know. He's definitely shilling for certain things. Absolutely. But on the other hand, if he's Bill Hicks, then Bill Hicks has done nothing wrong because he's playing a character named Alex Jones, right? Totally absolved of all of the nefarious BS. He's just an advertising agent at that point. If he's Alex Jones, there is some debate on what he may or may not have done. Most of it involves saying stuff, and so I'm not really real sanguine about going after him about it because say whatever the hell you want, sticks and stones and all that.
all right, let's get back to the clip and we'll see how far we get without having something to say.
That was a good Alex Jones, by the way.
Chat, so long as it doesn't hurt.
I appreciate it.
I do that both ways. But like, I don't like the idea that I don't like the idea that the thing that we will say at the end of the day that compromises a good conversation. Because again, even let's just say Du and I are having this back and forth, right? He and I are having a one-on-one conversation, but I'm always cognizant of the viewers. What are they learning from it? What are they getting from it? What is it that Du's going to say that will give them that aha moment? What is he gonna say to me, quite frankly, that I didn't consider that I'm going, fuck. And I never get down to it because say Crab says, I don't like this motherfucker. I'm gonna drop my $20 and he gone. And I will never get that chance of enlightenment.
I like the idea of you doing it.
Can anybody hear me? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we got
Go ahead, do.
Yeah, I'm trying some new shit with this mic, so if it's messing up, let me know.
Nah, you sound pretty good.
Yeah, to your point, bounties can hinder great conversations because somebody want to be funny or somebody is playing teams, all that type of mess. You know what I'm saying? So I'm more interested in having a great conversation than to entertain people with bounties and foolery and clownery and all that type of stuff. I'm interested.
Yeah, well, you know what? That's also debatable. I mean, there are also, you know, venues for that, you know. If you fall into a particular venue where this particular type of service where you get beheadings, get shot, whatever you name it, backstage, and all kinds of name changes. I mean, you kind of like subject yourself to that particular narrative or paradigm. Okay, you're kind of part of that. You know. So if you're not willing to then don't go there. Don't be part of it. You know.
Interested in the conversations, not seeing people get kicked off because they're doing well or people don't like them.
Well, let's be honest. Most of the time, see, here's my thing. Let's just say now we're all up here, right? You and I are having a conversation. It's all whatever. It's a different thing of saying people up here, and because this is where I'll run it back and forth. Welcome, Lindsay. Here's how I feel about it. Like, let's just say we're all up here, you and I are having the same conversation. I'm gonna go back to that. Now, Tim, say you came up in here, and then you were sitting here trolling. You're the one that comes in, throws the grenade into the whole conversation. If motherfuckers turn around and say, "Yo, we was listening to something. This motherfucker came in and ruined shit," I'm gonna pay them money to have him drop. That doesn't bother me because I understand the premise. But if we're really having a good conversation, he's not being disingenuous.
All right, so he's kind of like, just good thing it kind of paused itself. So he does have a place where, oh, okay, well, when it suits him, he'll take the money.
Okay, so is there anything specifically wrong with that? I mean, isn't that how morals and standards work? Is you choose at what point you're willing to participate?
I guess you could say that. I guess
All right, let
that.
me put it to you this way. My man has a YouTube channel. One of the most critical pieces of equipment that he owns is his microphone. He's having microphone issues, and when asked whether or not I would accept a bounty on my head, I don't care how you frame it, in what way, will you participate in being put down? Yes, I will do it to make you money, to get a better mic so I can watch better content.
Yeah. Okay. So morally, that's all right. It's not a big grift.
All right,
Nothing,
Brick over here is going to make the argument that doing bounties is completely wrong, and you shouldn't do it if you're not going to do it. And if you are going to do it, you should set it in the rules in the description at the outset, or else it shouldn't apply. Something like that. I might be a little off base with that, but that's close enough.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that, because today, for the first time, I actually posted all the rules to the game in the description. So there's no mistaking anything. You want to know how to play, you go look in the description, and all the rules are there. Tells you everything.
Dude, I fully approve of you changing the rules on the fly as you freaking feel like it, if that's what you want to do. Personally, I think that would be more entertaining to watch people spurg out on being put down for 50 cents.
Dude, I modify the rules as I go. It's like the other day somebody was saying, "Oh, you're changing the rules. You're changing." No. I'm making new ones. That's a whole different dynamic there.
And I have a totally different opinion where, yes, sir, indeedy do. I am changing the rules right now. You are witnessing it real time, and now you must accept them or leave. That's your choices.
That's a good one. I like that. I might use it.
Yeah, I have no problem with changing the rules as I go. That's
right, because new information may require new rules. And
well, it's funny you say that, because Magic the Gathering actually functions that way. Every new card that comes into play is the new rule. So it's like, that's how it works. Every card that is played is the new rule until another card comes into play that will add on to the rules or subtract from them. You know, it's why I had come up with the game there, Magic the Paneling.
Oh my God! Can we apply some rules to that? Is there some way we can actually make this a game?
Dude, I actually made cards. Didn't you see my cards? I made cards.
Okay, but we don't eat cards. What we have to do is play out our own freaking chats.
Hold on, let me bring at least one card up to show you an example of what I was. Dude, it was pretty good. It was a great concept, man. It's just like it took a lot of time and energy to make the cards and shit, because I wanted to have it like an actual playing game that you could play at home, right? So here are one of the pictures. I made myself.
How much to take Rusla off stage?
Check this out. I made myself as an angel. It's like, I don't know what's going on with the internet. There we go. Okay, here's my card. There you go. OTW, legendary creature, Archangel. When OTW enters the panel field, target panelists gains diplomatic immunity as long as OTW is in play.
I dig this so hard. I actually am attaining nerd boner status.
And my this angel is a 3/3, so it's a mythic. It has that little ruby kind of symbol there, red.
So
that means it's a
before you
mythic
get too
rare.
deep into the Magic the Gathering bit, consider that I've actually had sex with a woman, so I don't know as much about Magic the Gathering as maybe I should.
I've seen
Dude,
this.
I
game,
had
have
sex
not
with a
played.
woman while I was playing Magic the Gathering. Don't fuck around.
Sir, I'm gonna have to call bullshit on that. There's no possible way there was actually a woman
Dude,
with an
one of my
Magic
exes played Magic with me. She was very good too. She actually beat me. Sometimes
I
the
bet
student
she beat
surpasses
you
the
for get a
master.
wuss for playing Magic. Nah, dude, I love
She
it.
had
Great.
this,
Really,
dude. She made herself one of these squirrel decks, right? A deck of squirrels, man. I was like, and a deck of cards is like with like any type of creature you can think of. You know, they got goblins, all kinds of shit, right? So, she had a deck of squirrels, man. She would and these squirrels would rapidly reproduce, man. So she'd have like thousands of squirrels coming at you. It was like mass attacks. You couldn't handle it, even if you had like one of these really fast, powerful decks. You just couldn't be able to beat her. So it was like, great deck that she had, man. It was like the only person I ever met that played Magic that made a squirrel deck. And it was my ex.
Yeah, that's pretty unique.
Yeah. So yes, I have had sex. It was actually strip magic, we called it.
All right, so I lost my total. Like, I only had a half chub in the first place, and you've ruined it.
Yeah.
Although I am liking digging the concept of a squirrel girl.
Yeah, is this like a furry thing or what?
I'm thinking it might be a furry thing, bro.
Yeah.
I'm down.
The furry thing's kind of cute, except for the whole tail thing, because yeah, I
What do
don't
you
like
do
that.
with it? I mean, you get in the car and you're driving
Yeah.
around in your suit, and the tail's just like it's over there, like Barth on fucking Spaceballs, just poking chicks in the butt.
Here, I'm gonna drop the link for Tarek. I think Tarek wants to come on up here. Tarek, I don't know where Red is. He might not be around. I haven't seen him in chat there. Let me check. I can scroll all the way back to the beginning. See, no, I don't see Red. I don't see Red. Let me see. Red, are you here? Oh, I see. Oh, Red was the second one to comment when I said I did the live, but he only commented once and hasn't commented since we've been live for an hour and 17 minutes. So Tarek, you might be lucky, dude. Red might not be around. Oh, something happened with the video. Wow. What does it say? Cette vidéo n'a pas disponible dans la qualité sélectionnée. Veuillez réessayer plus tard. Okay. Let's try
Your
it
mom.
this way then. What's going on, man?
Resla took it down because
Yep.
they don't love us no more.
Comes in,
No,
throws the grenade into the whole conversation.
it does that sometimes. Oh wait.
Answer it. Don't answer it. Don't answer fucking it. It's all right.
All right. Okay, so we got that fixed. Lubass is in the house saying, "Hi, Tarek. Hi, hi, hi." Oh, Lubass. Yeah. I forgot about that one. Okay, anyway, so let's go. Let's move on with the clip and see what these guys are gonna add on to this particular topic.
All right. You good. Just let me know when you're back. The aspect is that, and I'm trying to be open and listen to it. Like, even if I did that more often, right? And I said this even in the conversation. I'm not gonna tell the people who were up there, but because some people wait till when the show ends and then they hit the link and they come up and we have conversations. If we're up, but the idea is that let's just say if this was something that happened more often, right? I do several streams a week. What would stop people to say, if this is the stream that I'm interested in, which is the arguments in the back and forth and all that stuff like that, what's to say that anything else that happens throughout the beginning or the end of the week that wrestler does, I'm not interested in, because I'm just interested in when everybody else tears each other down. I'm not going to show for any other show except for when I know he's going to do this particular type of show.
That's boring.
Isn't that a narrow?
The entire point of me doing what I do.
Yeah, but that would also make it a very narrow point of view, very narrow perspective. You know, it's I don't know. I don't agree that is a thing. Or if it is a thing, it's a small percentage of people.
I think you're looking at this whole Magic the Gathering. You can play at home, yes, but I think it would be more interesting if we could actually live play this on the panels. I want to play Hank Flamio.
You want a Hank Flamio card?
We're going to play Hank Flamio right now. Hank, join the panel, and whatever card we decide you are, that's what happens to the panel when you're here.
Dude, I've got a bunch of cards that I already made up. Hold on, let me bring some more up.
There is some curiosity about how the Caucasian Sasquatch would work out. Is it mythic or legendary?
It would probably be legendary. See, I have, hold on, let me see. We all know Jack, right? I got Jack. Here's Jack has a card.
Oh, God, really? Ooh.
Yeah, I made Jack a card.
You should do a new one called Flying Jack.
Flying Jack. Here it is.
Jack.
There it is. Count Talcott. Okay, legendary creature vampire. He's a gold. He's a rare card. When Count Talcott enters the panel field, the topic of conversation must become about Jack Talcott as long as Count Talcott is in play.
Wow.
Wow,
sir, you have outdone yourself here. I am utterly impressed. I'm not gonna lie. You have wasted in the field of music and broadcasting. You immediately should create this as your home game, and I got somebody to promote this stuff.
Dude, you want to see Snafu Snaps' card? I got one. You're gonna love this one. Here's Hank. Hold on a second. I got Snafu Snaps' card here.
Does Hank have a card? Because I want to know what
I never thought of making Hank a card. Hold on a second. Snafu Snaps. All right. That's actually the name of the creature. It costs 2 to cast, like $2. Creature, Warthog Hybrid. When Snafu Snaps enters the panel field, a target panelist has this tag added to their presented name. Pogo supporting fucktard.
Hold on. How many of these have you come up with?
Dude, I got a bunch of them. I spent a lot of time coming.
Are we talking 50? Have you got 3,272 of these? Like, how many?
No,
of these?
I got like maybe 10 of them about.
Okay, 10's good. That's a good
start. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 of them. All right, so here's another one for you guys know. Oh, I got Paul Unslave.
Okay.
Wow.
Check this one. This one's pretty cool. I like this one. All right. It just takes a little bit of time to upload. Okay, I got it. All right. King of Unslavia, legendary creature, Unslavius. Is a mythic rare. It costs $3 to play. When King of Unslavia enters the panel field, destroy all other creatures than Unslavius. He has protection from white and protection from black. A 3/3.
So your point is to use an Asian ally to take him down.
Yes.
Gotcha.
I want Pancake Planeteer Jack.
No, but because when we say the protection of white or protection for black is the color of the card. Like this card is a white card. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
So he has protection from his own color, and he has protection from Jack Talcott's color, which is black.
Yes, but no protection from red, blue, or green.
Exactly. There, you got it. So you're starting to understand. So in other words, if you look at the other cards, oops, hold on a second. Damn it. I got some other ones here. Let's say I made one for Lindsay, actually. Oh, you guys, I've got one for Freedom Grower. I've got one for Ezra. I've got one for
wait, stop. Ezra, I wish to see this one immediately.
Oh, she's one of the Sasquatches.
Oh, yes, she is.
Oh, yeah, you're going to love this one.
Oh, yes, I am.
Hold on a second. Give it a minute.
You got to show us all of them.
Okay, but I want to see Ezra now.
Oh, here's Ezra. Okay, Ezra, creature, Sasquatch. She costs $2 to play. Sasquatch Eruption, pay X, okay? Ezra deals X damage to each creature and panel walker, where X is the number of cards played during the broadcast.
Damn, that's a sweeper.
Not bad. She's
Say
a
that at
2-2. Hold on a second. I'm going to get some more. Yeah, I have one for Freedom Grower. Here's a good one. Check out Freedom Grower's card. This one's cool. Freedom Grower. He costs $9 to play. A legendary creature mountain lion. When Freedom Grower enters the panel field, a target chat member gains the ability to dictate the next rule of the game as long as Freedom Grower is in play. We have a dick move, okay? Caster must be timed out for 5 minutes. So anybody who, this is like the downside of this card is like if you play this card and you're a panelist, or even if you're in the chat room and you play this card, you get timed out for 5 minutes. So that's the downside to this card.
I can't thank you enough for making Ezra a Sasquatch. That's the most gorgeous thing I've ever seen in my entire life. I'm absolutely flummoxed by that. It's great.
Okay. I got one for I got one for Lindsay Smith.
Please.
All right. Check out Lindsay Smith's card. Come on, you freaking slow computer. All right, Lindsay Smith. She costs $3 to play. She's a creature elf fairy, a rare card. When Lindsay Smith enters the panel field, target panelist has his or her presented name changed to the caster's choice. So, in other words, you pay for a name change. But she's a 3/1 fairy, rare card. So I actually had like the board that when these cards are in play, they would actually show up in the background on the board. So like all these creatures would
so this idea is absolutely magnificent. You just need to like expand it directly into the panel verse, across the panel verse. I mean, if you keep how many cards would you need to have to actually play a game of this trash?
Dude, we would need at least like 300 cards. Like 250 to 300 cards to be able to have a decent game.
300 panel people.
Yeah, but that's not hard to find, man.
Wait, hold on. No, it's even easier than you think. What if they operate under different identities?
Oh yeah, that'd be easy.
Right?
Oh yeah, that's true. Like let's say Wizard, we could make like
it would be 93 cards.
93 cards with Wizard on it. You know, he's a wizard in all the colors, right?
No, dude. What you have to do is each one of the different profiles gets their own card, but it's all variations of Wizard.
Right, exactly. Like you get the Huckle Bus card, the Word Wizard card. You get the but they're all Wizard. Yeah.
Right.
Here's Nubs. You guys all know Nubs, right?
Yep.
Here, Nubs Revenge. He costs $1. He's an ally to Enslavius. This creature has double strike. When Nubs Revenge enters the panel field, target panelist has this tag added to their presented name. I don't get it. I'm a slave. That's like some of them are not as good. That's why they're cheaper to play, right? So like this $1 one is not that awesome, but that's what makes them common. Those are the common cards, the ones that are cheap.
Super chats.
And what else do we got here? Hold on, I got something
super
else.
Chats.
I got Goblin. You guys all know Goblin, right?
Yep.
So I made Goblin a card. He is Goblin, $2. When Goblin enters the panel field, Goblin deals 1 damage to target creature. So it deals 1 damage to target creature in the game, right? So if it's like, let's say Lindsay was a 2/1, then you target that creature, and then that card would leave the game. It would die. The Lindsay card would die. So you can kill off cards with the cards. You got all kinds of different abilities that you can use with these cards. You understand? It's crazy.
Yeah, I get it. Look, I've watched this occur. I've watched the whole Magic Gathering thing happen. Even there was a game attached directly to Dungeons and Dragons that utilized cards and dice, and a buddy of mine got huge into that. And I kept asking him if he had a full house, and when he'd say no, That's not how it works. I'd stand up and walk away from the table.
I even made one. I made one for Christos Deliopoulos, now known as Ixtos. So Ixtos Deliopoulos costs $3. Legendary creature, mage. He's a rare card. When Ixtos Deliopoulos enters the panel field, target card cannot be played as long as Ixtos Deliopoulos is in play. So let's say you can't play the Jack Talcott card, or you can't play the Unslavius card, right? Because he doesn't have protection from blue. So target card can't be played. This is a pretty good card. He's a 2/2 creature. So he's got 2 power. So when he attacks, he can do 2 damage. But he's also got 2 defense. So it costs 2. So I'm going to have like burn cards, red cards that you're going to cast. Like, we're going to call them like troll cards or something like that.
I like that. Burn cards. That's good. Where you just throw out some smart ass remark. You could take it straight out of like Cards for Humanity.
Burn cards would like, I'm going to use comments that people said in chat.
Oh, that's beautiful, bro.
Right? Yeah, and you're gonna get like 2 damage to a player or target creature or something like that. Like burn cards, because I want to attribute, like, let's say the panelists are on playing and we're all playing this game. We all have like 20 life points, right? So when you're down to 20 life points, you're done. You're out of the game. You get beheaded. You're backstage. You're dead.
Oh,
so
no.
That sounds like my whole archetype. I mean, look on.
But we're gonna have like revive cards. Revive target player. Let's say for $20. Well, dude, like I said, 300 cards. We can do them really quickly. Come up with all the text, flavor, all the texts and the rules and everything. That's pretty easy. It's just take the time to do all the face swapping, taking the, just making the cards is so long, bro. It's like I can make maybe, I don't know, maybe 10 cards a day. But that'll take like a few hours. So it would take me literally, this was a long-term project too, because I was like, when I started this, I had to at least make 300 cards, because to play the game, essentially, you need, you need at least 300 cards, because you have 5 colors to fill in. And there are even colorless cards, so 6 colors to fill in. So it gives you like, when you calculate it, 5 times. So we need at least 60 cards from each color. And right now, if I'm looking at my my board here, let me go to this thing here. I have there's also multicolored cards. You can have like Freedom Grower is a green and blue card, I think, and I think so is Lindsay. So we have multiple color cards too.
I feel like I fell off into a hole of autism.
You did.
I'm flailing over here.
You asked for it, man.
Apparently I did, and I'm absolutely flummoxed that you haven't gone farther with this. This is a brilliant idea. But consider stepping outside of the panel verse and doing a handful of like Mr. Beast level cards, right?
What do you mean?
Well, like
had NGO cards and like politician cards.
You could AOC somebody. That's funny.
Yeah.
That's funny. You could trump them. The Trump card, it wins regardless of what trash you throw at it. In fact, the more trash you throw at it, the more it wins.
Make Trump an Exodia equivalent.
Yeah, but we can also have counter target card or counter target spell.
Yeah, sure. That just means that there's technical issues and Trump couldn't appear. Dude, this shit writes itself.
Oh my god, dude, you're insane. We got to work backstage on this. Like, we're gonna fucking make a couple of games, bro.
God, you're gonna have
Yeah,
to
you
buy.
guys got to get together for this.
We'll spin it all off of Magic.
I've got a buddy of mine who's halfway through creating a game based entirely off of like the Magic system without all of the frou-frou, and I'd like to bring him in on it. He doesn't do panels. He's not a panel-verse person, but he's a game person, you know.
The problem with the Magic Gathering is that it's not very, it's pretty loose. It's better than Yu-Gi-Oh, but not as good as like card battle games. So you can just have cards upon cards. If you pick the simpler system like Exploding Kittens, you won't need to make so many cards to have a consistent game. I mean, how many
Autism
cards?
hole, like a bottomless pit of autism. I think my penis is shrinking.
Okay, let me how could I get the whole, like, let's say the whole audience to get a list of all the cards that they can play?
Well, see, that's the
text
thing.
file.
All right. So first of all, because you're utilizing channels from YouTube, you're not utilizing only your audience. You'll be able to exploit this across the panelverse if you do it right. Think about it, dude.
I want to make like, hey, imagine the Andrew Wilson card. And
right?
Cards,
I was thinking the Raging Tomato card.
oh
Like,
man, dude,
the fucking
flow
counter
state card, the flow state card, man.
Everybody gives him fucking money just right there. Everybody yeah, no, that's why I'm saying I need to talk to the Shade Master and get him into this, because he is right now, he is in the process of launching a Magic the Gathering clone that is sufficiently distinct enough in the rules that it doesn't copyright, right? And,
right, like me, like the rules that I come up with are like completely not related to
Hold it. Even if we use exactly the same rules, it wouldn't even be a copyright issue because
it's
the rules that's not covered by copyright.
Right, exactly, and the cards are also like completely satire, you know.
Yeah,
but
the rules that isn't copyrighted.
Nothing to do with
dude. Like, you could do I mean, this could be a multi-issue thing where once a year you issue a panelverse card set. You wouldn't have to do much, but like add like maybe 20, because people get new.
No, because I wanted to actually where I create these cards on the site that I make these cards, I could actually have them printed and made for real.
Sure. I mean,
so so I could actually, some people could actually send me, like, let's say money and say, okay, I want this. I actually want this card at home for real, like, or I want like these 10 cards, like, and I can just like.
What I'm trying to work out is a crossover between the card game and the actual panelverse, and literally have like the play out happen when they come up. So
all right, guys, I have to like stop us for a moment here because we got super chats raining in that I'm not even like paying attention to. So just let me see what the hell's going on here. All right, so the first super chat was Hank, $5. Shout out to Hank. Let's play a little bit of that clip. Hold on a second. Here we go.
It's starting to rain money!
All right, cool. What's up, Hank? Says, I play Freedom Grower on World Economic Forum.
He was spamming.
What was Freedom Grower's card? Yeah, but the one
a
that
timeout for 5 minutes.
No, it's what? How does that work? Let me go check the rules now.
see autism all the way down.
total retardation.
All the way down.
Now I'm the one who's like lagging on top of my computer lagging. That's just great.
Yeah.
Think of the bright side. You know how to route audio. I still haven't figured out how to do that right.
Oh, well, at least you sound okay. You're not glitching. You're not glitching.
I sound okay for now, but I tried doing another test stream about Boxertron no game audio because I screwed
right.
up the audio route. So
Okay, to time out someone in chat is $2 for 2 minutes. So I don't understand why you paid $5 when it's a $2 timeout.
because I read the card but didn't read the rules. So the errata, I missed the errata.
Okay, hold on a second, Hank. This is the thing. The rules are in the description of the show. Go read the rules. That their cards are not rules, bro. I was just presenting the game that I was coming up with to Sasquatch because he never seen it before.
Bro.
Okay.
And you're fucking everything up right now.
Of course. So what I want you to do is spend the $2. I'm gonna need the rest of the money to negate whatever Tarek wants to do.
Well, we'll just give you a $3 credit, and you'll use it on whatever you want later on in the show. Okay?
Yes. Yeah.
Everything.
All right. So let's go.
I regret it all.
Let me see something here. I don't know what I'm doing.
Oh, come on, Cynthia. You know you got a hot two of that thing.
Maybe just read the next super chat.
Hold on a sec. I'm going to it. I'll be there in a minute. I'm just looking
you
at
gotta shake more than 3 times. I hear tell that's playing with it.
Why is a World Economic Forum
sparking out? I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, he's the one you want me to time out?
Yep.
Yeah, he's gone. He left like 5 minutes ago.
Time out anyways.
I like
I don't
totally late. All right. So then Tarek, I think, sends in that was a $5. Then Tarek sends in a $3, says, drop Lindsay name change Hank name to Fat Cynthia. Drop Lindsay? Drop.
Yeah, Lindsay's not even up here. Are you just playing Lindsay to change his name? Yeah, I think that's what that is.
Yeah.
Change his names. Yes. That works.
I don't get it. What am I supposed to do here?
Change
Don't worry, I'm negating it later, so just go and read the next super chat.
Yeah. No, he plays something later that negates this, but his name is
ignore Inspector Tarek's ridiculous request. Okay, there we go. All right, so that's done. I don't have to do that. Oh, Tarek comes back with another $3 saying, drop Lindsay card to change Hank to Fat Cynthia. You don't need to play. These cards aren't in action, guys. How? I don't. All right.
I'm telling you, dude. It's a freaking gold mine.
Is T playing the Freedom Grower card or not?
No one's playing any cards, guys.
Yes. So the $3 credit, I'm negating that thing too. So that's the end of the chain.
Man, I don't know how all of a sudden I just present the cards and now everybody wants to play them. And I like
no. I'm telling you. Now, granted, the presentation would have to be done properly. You couldn't like pop up on an Andrew Wilson panel and be like, "Hey guys, I made a Magic the Gathering game about the Panelverse." You have to let them discover it on their own. You can't just show up and like bang them in the face with it. They won't like it.
Yeah.
But I think this is something that would go viral within the panel community. I'm not talking thousands and millions of views, but maybe, a significant bump because people.
Yeah, like maybe 12 views. Or even 13.
All right, so
hate card. Apparently there isn't a hate card, bro.
Now we got Cynthia coming in with a $5 super chat saying, make a card for Tarek and call it Terrorist Tarek.
Oh, you got paid.
That kind of.
So you kind of got to do it, don't you?
Yeah. Well, yes. Okay. I'll do that. I will make a card for Tarek.
I don't know if those are the rules, but sounds right.
No.
But that's a mission request.
The card. The rule. I'll make up the rules for the card. I'm the one who does that. Nobody tells me what to do. But the name of the card. It's okay. $5 to tell me what the name of the card is. Sounds good to me. My moral compass tells me that's okay. Right. So then Tarek comes back in with a $2, says Cynthia card, Cynthia cuck juice.
Oh.
It sounds sticky.
Jesus Christ, Tarek.
That's
okay,
rough.
And now
that's real rough.
Comes in with $2 and say, play the Hank card. We don't have a Hank card.
I played Hank himself. I actually played Hank himself. He's on the panel
dude,
now. Now what?
Now what? You know what? Flow
Yes.
State, you have actually earned yourself the 2 cards. You're not just going to have 1 card. You will have 2 cards dedicated to you. One of them is going to be the Powdered Dusty, and the other one's going to be the Flow State card. And Sasquatch is actually going to come up with the rules for your 2 cards. I'm going to give Sash because I think Sasquatch is best placed to come up with the rules to those 2 cards.
So if there was a Hank card, it would be red for sure.
We'll see what color he'll be.
Well, I mean,
the Powdered Dusty, in my opinion, it should be Powdered Dusty card should be white.
It has to be.
It has to be white.
Flow State can be black. That would work.
Yeah, the Flow State card has to be the polar opposite. It has to be the black card. Yeah, I see that too. Yeah.
So how do we attack
for the Flow State?
Say what?
Could be red for the Flow State. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
That's it.
How do we attach grifting to that? Because, I mean, if he's got a superpower, it's getting money out of motherfuckers.
Well, I don't know. I guess like when he I don't know.
When the pot of greed, just make it like that.
A pot of
from
greed.
Yu-Gi-Oh, the one that makes you draw 2 cards and they banned it. We got too broken.
Oh, wait a minute. Well, that makes sense. Oh, yeah, that's a good idea, Hank. I'm gonna rotate something around there, but that's not a bad idea. I like that.
I don't know. I don't know enough about the game. I've heard people talk about it my whole life, and it's always bored the living hell out of me because it's like talking about a dream you had when you was a kid, right? You know, I used to play D&D a lot. Right? I played D&D
similar to it, but
yeah,
I haven't played Magic the Gathering. No.
Holy shit! Tarek coming in with another $2 saying, "Make a card for Yolanda. Call it Bitchy Witch." Jesus. I mean, since they paid $5 for a card to be created. Tarek's like, no, I'm paying $2. Like,
you got to put that in a super chat, Powdered Dusty.
I get royalties every time my card is played.
Yeah, it's not a super chat.
That could be a thing, though. That could be a thing.
Card. Nine-tailed fox.
You got to monetize the input too,
bro. Mel's card, Cosmic Fox card. Her card could be useless filibuster. No cards played. We're like concerned about.
How about this? All funds or donations get diverted to Flow State as long as Flow State is on the battlefield.
I kind of feel like that should happen with both cards, regardless of which one you play.
You mean the white one or the black one?
Yeah,
like we both have the same power.
And that's just a byproduct of his presence. He gets all the goddamn money.
No, one of them you can use for the panelist, and the other one for the chat. Right?
We have to send you to your room till you figure this out, bro.
Yeah, you're right, man. I'm freaking out now. I had no idea that could be this popular. I got to get to making those cards.
See, the thing is maybe start with like short lifts. You don't want to do too many at once because you'll end up having to like scrape the bottom of the barrel. I mean, your goblin card is a pretty good example of that type of activity.
Yeah, and the nubs.
I kind of have a request for one card, and it's going to involve like vehicular homicide or something. And I want it to be the Mitch card.
The Mitch card. Oh,
or parking lot pimp. That was a good meme too from Biff Mitch.
You could do a Barbie Sasquatch card, have it immediately change the topic of the panel to some randomly rolled topic.
a roll of the dice.
Well, now
You know
we're
what?
talking.
I should get.
chemtrails.
You know what I should get? I should get myself a spinning wheel. Okay. And put some shit on there, and you know, when this card is played, spin the wheel, and then when we spin the wheel, some, you know, random shit happens, right? Oh, Flow State, Mr. Powder Dusty coming in with another $2 super chat, says every minute my cards don't exist, you're costing me money.
See what I mean?
It's like
You see what I mean?
that-
Like, this
I had
work-
to make that card yesterday.
Yeah, right, last week he wanted that card before he knew about the game. Like, why doesn't it already exist?
I kind of like the idea. All funds diverted to
brilliant.
Flow State, as long
It
as
made
the
my
Flow
brain,
State
the
card
whole,
is in play.
universe lit up for a second when I realized, wait, you did Paddleverse cards for Magic the Gathering? Wait, that's genius. Hold up. That's a license to print money. You'll just have your own money printing machine because it's cheaper to give you that than it is to pay you.
Man, hold on a second. I actually had another card too. It was another Lindsay card. I had two Lindsay cards, a good one and a bad one. Hold on a second. Where's the yeah, I had a bad Lindsay card. Hold on a sec. Here it is. Hold on a second. It's gonna show up in a minute. There we go. Lindsay Smith, cost 2 to play. Creature, Merfolk Siren. When Lindsay Smith enters the panel field, target panelist has his or her presented name changed to the caster's choice. Okay, so she has the same ability, I think, as her other card.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's just a re-release with a different picture.
Right. It's just a yeah. It's
No,
just,
no, the other one is 3-1. This one's 2-1.
yeah, this is
Oh,
a
okay.
2-1, costs 2. The other one I think costs 3. It's more expensive.
So I
And
did a thing.
is there any other cards that did not show? I think I showed them all. I think my favorite one is my own card, right? And Jack Talcott's card.
Jack Talcott's funny. That's funny. That is
It's
so
fucking
funny.
awesome, man.
Like,
I don't,
Yeah.
Jack Talcott.
dude. People are gonna play this card all the time. You know,
What's
like,
messed
Count
up?
Talcott, man, legendary creature vampire. When Count
Uh.
Talcott enters the panel field, the topic of conversation must become about Jack Talcott as long as Count Talcott is in play. Oh yeah, Tarek. Oh yeah, we got to come up with something. Like when the Tarek terrorist card enters the panel field, the topic of conversation must absolutely become gossip. All right, 43 people watching. Hit the like button, guys.
Hold on. Unfounded gossip. Someone must make up a rumor that never happened, or maybe did.
Oh, I like that, man. That's good.
I'm evil, diabolical.
Oh, we need diabolical. We need dark. We need red cards. The red cards are burn cards. The black cards are usually lose life cards, or like vampire, rats, and shit like that. All kinds of different, zombies and shit like that. Right? Black cards are like, black.
Yeah, I need to be on the red cards. I mean, I did a Zebra Roast show and may even do another one.
Dusty over here saying there should be a unique Lindsay card that only he has. And I'm like, yeah, no, I thought about the same thing. But when you play it, it only occupies the space on the board and the game is over.
Or what is like the Imperious card? What would you call it? What would you do with Imperious?
Oh, well, that's another one of those that you play when you want to end the game. Like the panel's over sometimes when Imperious shows up. Like, so it'd have to be something very dangerous because it's the panelverse, right? And
let's how about when Imperious enters the panel field, drop all panelists for 5 minutes.
I mean, you might as well, because ain't nobody gonna talk through it.
Oh, Cage Reality coming in with a $6.99 super chat says, you mess with kids, your family, you will see the consequences. A clear reflection won't recognize you, and you will hear his laughter. Yeah, he typed that in private chat earlier.
Yeah, I see that.
I still don't understand what that means.
But okay.
Yeah, well, shout out to the $6 though, or $7.
Absolutely. Powder Dusty knows what to do with Imperius. Just says the N word. Game over.
Oh yeah, that's
Says the best would say the N word. Crown's first does. I'm King Steven. I think that he did that like 2 times. The time before last he was here.
When an Imperius
I think we
enters the
sent them over
battlefield,
to
kick target player for saying the N word, even if they didn't say the N word.
That's so messed up. Well, yeah, you'd have to be pretty messed up to play Imperius, so if you think about it.
Yeah.
And that's like a last ditch effort. A Hail Mary.
Man. This game is actually, you're right, Sasquatch. I think it could be a very popular thing. I don't know why I didn't follow through with it, man.
Here's the thing, though. You got to keep in mind, it might be popular, but it'll also be very niche, right?
It'll be very degenerate.
What do you mean niche?
Well, I mean, like, you're not going to be having like this game played by Asian kids in freaking China because it's that cool. This ain't Squid Games we're pitching here. This is Meth Gator too. I mean, it's going to be something of a limited audience. It's probably not going to go worldwide because who knows the freaking Panelverse except for the Panelverse and those who watch it. So we're talking, 150, maybe 200,000. If you go as far as like, who's that dude? Andrew Wilson. If you go as high as that on like your subscriber count and stuff to make the cards, then you're looking at like, maybe 30 million possible sales.
Well, the Atheist Code of Austin's technically in the Panelverse, and they get a lot of views.
Sure, I'm not talking about views. I mean, there's a big difference between people who are going to look at a video versus people who are going to send, $70 for their 60 cards to play the Panelverse Magic clone. I'm trying to be realistic here. I'm trying to be an asshole.
Right, because Magic has a deck of 60 cards that you play when you're playing against another. So if you can actually come up with your own strategies, right? Okay, I'm going to use this card and this card and then this card. And so when you use all 3 cards combined, it causes absolute freaking chaos on the panel. So that's what would be interesting. And then people can counter those things. So it in a way would actually give the audience the opportunity, like power to pretty much do anything. Like it wouldn't just be limited to timing out and putting backstage. It would expand into actually causing damage to the cards on the board and causing damage to the panelists
and causing damage to your ability to get laid.
That's not an issue.
Yeah, who wants to get laid, right?
No, well, we'll just get laid after we get rich.
Hey, not a bad plan. It's worked before.
Yeah, it's worked before.
That works.
I can wait.
Okay, yeah, no, we can do this. You do all the really nerdy stuff, and I'll just have the great ideas. Okay,
that's it. See, that's collaboration, folks.
Yep. I get 10% of the gross. The net is a fiction.
Oh, we kind of like completely diverted from the actual topic,
Yeah, no, that was the nerd boner of epic proportions. The autism hole is bottomless over here. I really enjoy it.
So, let's get back to the topic. Is corruption the price of success? Apparently.
Right? I just demonstrated it real time on OTW.
Yeah,
there's no way you can buy me. That's $1 million idea. I'm sold.
We totally Yeah, we were still on topic. Oh, yeah.
Unfortunately.
So you're willing to sell out people on the panel and people in chat and all that just for your own profit.
And everybody on
Oh my
every
God.
panel ever.
Right, not just my panel and my audience, but all the other panels and communities too, you know?
Dude, I respect the fucking hustle. Like, I can't.
Including dead people. Yeah, including dead lawmakers.
Make the card,
Like, especially
the
dead lawmakers.
Andrew Wilson card.
Hold on. You actually have to do like 3 freaking sets, because the first set you've got to like sign and send to all the people that they are.
Oh, dude, yeah, that would be awesome. Like every card that I'd make, I'd actually send it. Like I'd have it printed and I'd send it for free to that person, so they actually have in their hand their own card.
Right.
That would actually be a nice
you
thing
have
to
to
do.
make like 3 decks right out the box just to get a starter kit going.
Yeah. And you know what? Well, you know, would be even more awesome to get people to incite people to come up on panel is if you actually own the card for real. If you show up on panel and you present the card on camera, then you can use it for free. You could use it. You won't have to pay to use the card.
Yeah, speaking of cards, hey, Tarek, I still have my tarot deck. I know he doesn't like this. I still have this.
What do you think about that, Sasquatch?
Feeding time.
What's wrong with having a tarot deck?
That's Tarek. He whines complains about me having a tarot deck. Especially
I know some Southern Baptists down here that will tell you that that is a direct conduit to Satan himself, and you are thereby damned for merely being in possession of it.
Probably.
Yes. Yeah, but tarot cards been banned by Christians, so.
But then again, they pass snakes around, so I don't know who to believe. Them treats.
Yeah, Cynthia says Tarek's a witch. I concur, but his skills are really low. He's not very good at it.
I think she might have typoed. So I got a premiere happening in 6 minutes. You want to watch it?
Sure.
Did we lose OTW? I think we lost OTW.
You better be making those cards.
Right? Chop, motivator. Do your worst. Derek isn't good at life. What's up, 5 Speed? What's up, bud?
Yeah, Tarek's retort says tarot cards are a weak form of magic. And yes, and I ask you why you triggered by them if they're so weak. I agree, but why you? I mean, it's so strong and you're afraid of it, so.
Lies are also a weak form of strength. So what's your point, Tarek? I think lies are an artificial form of strength. And this is coming from someone who actually buys, to an extent, the fake it till you make it concept.
We have some.
He practiced spells, Tarek, that makes you a witch. No. Monty Python laid it out quite clearly. The only thing that makes him a witch is if he weighs the same amount as a duck.
That's true. Absolutely true.
Or I said you know, the lying is learned behavior. It's all it's all based out of fear, right? The fear of consequence of being real. And that's learned behavior, really. You're taught to move like that.
Well, I mean, if I'm lying to you to sell you a car, that's not fear. That's greed.
Well, a lot of it, but I'm saying is like, when people lie, like why would you, if you greed, okay, that means they're not actually lying. You can say certain things and just play, but yeah, you're not lying. I'm saying like true lying comes out of fear, probably most of the time.
Yeah, like when Turk says he has receipts and he never does.
I got a receipt with a chick's number on it. How about that? Proud of myself for that one. I didn't do anything to get it. She just came over and demanded my number and gave me a raise. So
Yeah, what is it like? One of these waitresses, they put a big heart with her name on it and asked you to like tip them extra.
no, the chick didn't even give me her name. It was very strange.
Well, there you go. Enjoy.
Yeah, right. Like, I like weird things. Let's do this. Joke's on you. I'm into that shit. This chat has gone absolutely septic. It is just as toxic as it can possibly be right now.
All right, let's get back to the video.
You should just call yourself Jerry Springer then.
Maybe you should stop talking to my girl.
Jerry.
Who's your girl?
Jerry.
Just whoever.
Oh,
my girl's my cousin. It's a dude. His name's Jeremy. But due diligence thinks that it's a chick.
My cousin flashed her test
I'm
on
back.
Jerry Springer
Yeah,
and
so
got the bees, dude.
every time this conversation and wrestling, where we come from, this conversation hits deep and it never goes.
Can you tell them where we come from? Because apparently people think I lie.
The Fight Club space. Yeah, in the Fight Club space. Okay, so wrestling's been live for 1 hour and 15 minutes and 20 seconds right now, right? 35 minutes into the Fight Club show, the link gets dropped. 10 people hit the link, and within an hour, there's already $1,000 dropped, and those 10 people that hit the link is not even up there no more. But Due Diligence has a following of about 200,000 subscribers. So when Due Diligence get dropped, his subscribers dropping money in the chat to bring Due Diligence back up.
Yeah.
So in summertime, they will have awesome topics. I'm talking about top of the line topics.
Yep.
Due Diligence come up and he can drop some great knowledge or give some great perspectives on the conversation. But 10 minutes into the conversation, and they be like, hey, Due Diligence, what do you think about the topic? Well, bam, he dropped.
Never even get it out.
Didn't even get it out.
Well, yeah, but see what Sarah does when she's doing this is even though it's not an immediate drop. Quite often, Sarah will go, okay, you're going to be down for 20 minutes. I'm going to give you 60 seconds or so to give your rebuttal of what's going on. That's one of the things she does. It's great. Yeah.
I feel that's one of the things that I respect that Sarah actually does, because I've had people turn around and say, I gave you X amount of dollars. I'm mad that you didn't drop them fast enough. But they were in the middle of fucking talking.
And then she tells them to go wash their vagina. Oh, no, that's me. Sorry.
I love that trash.
They were talking. I'm not really inclined.
Wait, you respect the woman telling another woman to go wash her vagina?
I usually say that to dudes.
I know, but I thought he said that. Sarah said it. Like, wait, did she literally say that? All right, listen.
No, I was joking. Then I said, I say that. Okay. I said, I was just joking.
I'm confused. What happened? Because I'm just like, wait, why is there women with dirty vaginas on the panel?
We lost your mic, Rizla. We lost your mic. When that PayPal or when that YouTube check comes in, this will stop. We still can't hear you, bro.
Yo, when he said it, I laughed. I thought to myself, I immediately saw.
When the YouTube shit comes, hold on, pause your shit for a second. All these motherfuckers, all these people that are out here trying to get a bag, trying to get a check off fucking YouTube. Are you retarded? They're gonna.
Actually, we're trying to get him a mic.
Okay, well, we have to start somewhere, right?
Not a bag.
Maybe I should get me a mic, right? If I want to talk. But either way,
I agree. You should get a mic. I have a good one for $25.
Fuck off! I have a mic. It's called my phone. It's called what's in my hand right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
You sure you're not holding a bottle of Jack Daniels in your hand right now?
No, I got a poutine and a French accent.
I mean, as aggressive as he is, I really like his aggression. It feels honest.
It is. I'm telling you. We triple layer the curves.
Cage, I don't think Cage can actually bullshit. No, he's pretty much. I guarantee you.
It's exactly what it is. Buddy.
Yeah, you meet this guy in real life. There's no difference, right? He's like the same guy.
Like a car.
I'm even worse in real life because I get your body language and you're actually in the room with me, so I can. You know what I mean? It'd be way better in real life.
I can totally dig it, dude. I got a buddy of mine I think might be just like you. He just doesn't go for it. You know what I mean? Like he's anti everything.
I'm anti bullshit. You know, I'm getting hives or something.
Right? No, I get it. I respect it.
I'm allergic. Hold on, I'm gonna start coughing. I'm gonna start sneezing or something. The fuck?
I was like, that never happened. My imagination took off. That was just funny for me. Sorry.
She gets me to say it.
The only one with the dirty vagina on here is 10th man.
If she did, I would. Sarah, if you ever did that, I would clip it. It would be fucking hilarious. Oh man, that would be great.
For the right price, she will.
Yep.
So I think the question is, to Resla's topic, the question is there anybody on the panel who is not willing to compromise at least one of their morals?
Say
that's me.
Is there anyone on the panel who's not willing to toot their ass up and spread their cheeks?
Me.
Whoa. Can you describe it a different way? Can you?
In a more flattering way, please.
Yeah, can you? I need an adult.
Deflowered.
I'm on the panel of wrestling.
Hey, who'd we lose? There was somebody up here with us. Who was it? Can't remember.
You have a bunch of people on the panel. Why are you playing like other panels when you have people on the panel? It makes zero sense.
Well, because when it goes quiet and nobody's talking to each other, I play the video, okay?
All right, well done.
No problem. Happy to accommodate you.
And we lost Hank.
Oh, it was Hank, and we also lost 10 viewers.
But you got some real people on here. Why not have a conversation?
Because you're not able to have a conversation.
Because I'm not able to have a conversation. Should I say it in French?
You always interrupt. You kind of like snafu. We're gonna make a cage card.
Yeah, my bad for interrupting.
No problem.
The question is there anybody who's not willing to lift their sack and spread their cheeks just for $1? I'm scared to answer this question because if I say no,
I won't do it for $1, but I'll do it if you're hot. Before I was married.
Here's the sad part about it, though.
But I think they all need like lead.
We have had plenty of people be up here
the gold. They all need
for free.
Oh my God! That's wide open for free.
For free.
A lot of feedback on that, Mike.
Let's do some. Go ahead, Lindsay.
Okay.
Was you about to say something?
Yeah, I was just going to say I'll entertain you on this conversation. Not the nut sack and the vagina one, but the other one about sacrificing your integrity and morals. That one.
And you say
that's the conversation I want to have.
I have, because I'm a human being, and what I'm likening this to is cognitive dissonance. And cognitive dissonance means a few things to different people. So I'll just go ahead and define it for this sake here. Cognitive dissonance is when you do something that goes against your principles. You may not realize it, but you'll have a way of coping with it. So you justify it, just like we were talking about before. Like you say, okay, only this one time, or I'm going to cheat on this calculus test, and I don't respect myself for cheating, but I didn't study for it, and I really know how to do it. So, you downplay your cognitive dissonance when you go against your own set of integrity and morals. And I think we've all done that at some point or another. And we go around. Okay. Thanks, babe.
No, you're great.
Keep going.
You are great right now.
Yeah, it's not talking about shit.
Yeah, keep going. That was great. That was exactly what I was leaning on for so long. Go ahead.
Okay, this is just my opinion because I know 10th Man has the halo thing on. What am I talking about with the halo thing? We all like to go around thinking that we're angelic and we're perfect and we would never do this and we would never do that. But when the time comes, if you're desperate enough or needy enough, and I'm talking about Maslow's hierarchy of needs, that pyramid where you have the basics at the bottom: foods, comforts, beds, water, food, all the basics that you can't actually progress to the top, which is self-actualization. Like 2% of the people in the population can actually reach self-actualization according to the model. So who would we think we are if we could actually reach that point? We are flawed human beings, and I say we're gonna mess up, and it's okay. Does one or two bad things in your life define who you are overall? If so, we would all hate each other and not talk to each other and write each other off.
Allow me to give
It
some
depends
I
caveats
on
love
though,
it.
because that was
love
well
it.
said.
I love it when she drops like my underlying message that I'm not trying to say, but she brings it to that psychological point. She brings it like, hey, this is what I love it. That's exactly where I was going with it.
There's
I
two
love it.
things that come into play. For one, there's moral relativism, and then there's morality being subjective. Because each individual person here, we can have a list of issues or problems or things that happen, and we can break it down. But well, I don't think it's moral, or I don't think this is that bad, and we can just have that discussion. But I mean, there are some things that a lot of the people agree on that are bad that I don't think anybody would, for any amount of money, would break. And there are some things that some people don't think are as bad, and they would break it for a Klondike bar.
That's the point. That's the whole point.
Yeah.
And let me also say, you know, there's things called, like, I believe in the concept or the idea of the greater good also aspect, right? And then like I said, also like false dichotomies and stuff like that. And also you have to consider that morals are subjective also. You know what I mean? Like, some people like to say that they're not, especially if you believe in some type of religion or some type of God, then you're going to believe that morals are objective. But I always say all you have to do is look at history, look at different religions, look at around the world, and then you will see that morals are subjective. Do we have some universal norms? I don't agree with the phrasing, but in a general sense, yeah. So I say that to say, people are going to compromise morals because morals are subjective and they are elastic. There's no hard line in between them, and you can see
It's moral relativism.
Indeed.
That's exactly what that is that you're describing.
Indeed. Thank you. That was more concise. Now, I was dragging it out. Thank you.
Yeah.
I have a question here, OPW.
Natural law is not real law is not fucking relative to the observer. Right? There's a program going on either way, an algorithm. So enough of that bullshit.
I'll wait for Cage to narcissistically finish his sentence.
Yeah, it's okay. I actually got rid of him, so you can go ahead and speak because you're the one who is. It's funny how he just decided to speak for you, right? Go ahead.
Okay, so moralistically speaking, right? People that have never done evil, are they being that way out of fear, or are they being that way out of morality, as opposed to somebody who has done evil but chooses not to?
So what you're saying is, well, what is it you're saying actually?
Well, it's kind of complicated, but it's like a moralistic judgment between the two. Is somebody who has never done evil anything bad, right? Are they doing that out of fear or out of a sense of morality, as opposed to somebody who has done bad things but chooses not to? Are they morally higher than the person who has never done evil but doesn't do evil out of fear of reprisal
or cowardice, right?
Yeah.
Right. Well, that makes a lot of sense. Well, I would say that the person that has done wrong and chooses not to do wrong is hell of a lot more righteous. But I guess that would also entail the fact that they would know the difference between right and wrong, as the person who had never actually done any wrong and not experienced wrong would not know what wrong is from that other person's perspective.
Yeah, they'd see what the repercussions of doing wrong is, though, right? Around them.
Well, obviously they would have, be witnessing other people doing wrong.
Yeah.
In that case, yeah.
So, do they do it out of fear of reprisal, or are they just good? It could be a mix of both, Some people just, don't want to do evil. I don't know. Because I know I've done some bad things. So
well,
I think
was trying to
has.
establish earlier that all of that is passed down through generation. Like all of this moral standing point is stemmed from past experiences, and has also evolved into the legal system that we have today.
Mm-hmm.
Because the legal system, some may say that it is based on moral ethics.
Yeah.
No, I'm not saying that's true, but
yeah,
don't hold that to me.
So morality is just a construct we create.
Right. Yeah.
Or it could be viewed
amongst each other as so we can live as a society. It's like a moral foundation that everybody will follow. So, you know, for at least society and this, you know, for this place to function. I'm not saying like it's perfect, but at least it's functioning.
So by society's rules, basically, you know, if we take it to its extreme, we're actually making a bunch of people scared of reprisal instead of
righteous
people. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. You know, actually, I never actually seen it from that perspective. And looking at it from that point of view right now, I'm like, wow, that's really bad.
Yeah.
Wow.
Kind of flips it on its head, eh?
Oh yeah. I'm like, wow, okay, wait, we're kind of yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with somebody that said we're pretty much done for. There's no hope for humanity.
we're fucking ourselves, basically.
Pretty
right?
much. Yeah. Wow. All right.
It's really nice when I run across people that can really deep dive and really think about, even when I'm seeing the message behind the message, because like the way how even a lot of people don't, by the way, which is why I also run into people who take offense to it, right?
Wrestler, do I have to call this dude niggas blackers? Who is this man? Who is this guy? I don't want to say.
I was gonna call him niggas. He put it up there. What am I gonna do?
That's what I'm saying.
That's why I was gonna call him niggas. I was already looking at it earlier. I'm like, I'm calling him
niggas.
niggas.
So much already, Ted. You just want to say this shit now.
Niggas. Nah, hey, it's the way she goes.
Oh my god!
Y'all know who niggas blackers is?
No,
he's a real person.
King Black Man.
Google it. He's a real person.
I'm sorry, Rez. I'm saying.
I even think about that was fucking funny. Oh
you end me from now on. I'm not calling you niggas blackers. I'm not going to do it.
If I could have it, just a couple.
Okay, well,
sorry.
They also call me Will. I'll change my name in a second. But yeah, what's up? What you got?
No, because you was trying to say that you wouldn't spread them and all of that, but I think you took it to an extreme. It's the
Oh no, I did. I was just being an asshole.
Okay, well then I don't have anything to say then.
Hey, Chuckman.
Getting back to the
thing is, like a lot of people will say, well, oh, there's not a dollar amount that'll make me break my morals. Like, all right, cool. Well, we have to understand how can we gauge your morality, right? And a lot of people will give you subtle examples that's environmentally agreeable, such as you don't like seeing children hungry. So if you have a plate full of food, or even if you had a medium-sized plate full of food, and one of your children comes to you and says, "Daddy, I'm still hungry," of course, you might offer them something off your plate. That's understandable, right? When you look at why you think in marketing, when it comes to showing those children over there in those third world countries, they dirty, beat up, hungry, they want you to feel some type of way. So morally, we all have a way when it comes to we want children to be safe, clean, fed, well educated, and all of that and the other. Now, if someone said to you, "Hey, I'll give you X amount of dollars if you roll through this village and say, fuck all these kids. All we gotta do is just, all you gotta do is get on the speakerphone and say, fuck these kids. And we'll pay you X amount
I'll say that for free because it's funny.
There you go.
That is a fact. That is a
I
fact.
say that about my kids all the time. I'll say it right now. Fuck them kids.
There you go. So now we can have an understanding of where we lie at morally. Now we can ask the question. Depending on
moralism. When you talk about moralism, you really need to focus on actions and things that people do.
Of course, but here's the thing though. Most people would feel some type of way if they knew the thing that you did was immoral and you accepted money for it, right?
You also have consensus morality, which is group morality, and individual morals. We as a society all believe that rape is wrong. We all believe that child rape is wrong. We all believe that murder is wrong. We all believe that theft is wrong. Right?
Of course.
Right.
So there is consensus morality. And that's where a lot of your religious morality comes from. Individual morality is something that has skyrocketed since the philosophical concept of moral relativism. And moral relativism has become honestly a mental dead end. It is a reason to spread communistic nihilism. And if you want to know what I mean by communistic nihilism, look up the nihilist definition. It was on Google at one time as a denial of anything traditional or traditional ways of thinking or traditional culture to further the advancement of the Communist Party.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, you had asked me something. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I was not aware of that.
To add to what you said too, to have the moral conversation is often not fair whenever you have religious people in the conversation because they come from an objective viewpoint.
That's where I was about to go. Yeah,
that God is the ruler and He sets the rules, and anything outside of what the Bible says is not morality. You know what I'm saying?
And then I get called the F word on a regular basis. Yeah, I know.
So here's my, well, sure, if you want to say being called the F word, but so here's my thing about that, dude. I don't agree. I don't disagree with whatever you're saying about that, right? Is that it's even hard to figure out who is the religious person, because even spiritual people will still jump on that same bandwagon because they just don't believe that. Because even though they don't wholeheartedly agree, that little part that says that I want to believe in something rather than just say it's not, I'm not going to have you sit there and disrespect. So there are people who jump on that bandwagon as well, even though they don't wholeheartedly agree. And I think that that's something that, yeah, it should be taken into account. But at the same time, here's the truth of the matter: if we are really ever going to get down to the root cause of being able to have a foundation of talk and be able to really become enlightened as to what the next step is, we have to be able to challenge the things that are very much uncomfortable. And I think that's something that both people, whether you are religious or whether you even are atheist, need to come to common ground on.
Well, here's the thing, Resla. Whenever we talk about objective morality, in order to have something that's objective, that means I have to submit to somebody's God. You know what I'm saying? That I'm taking, and who's the arbiter of truth? Like, I don't know that if you could.
I love it.
I'm not saying for you, Resla, but I'm talking about these guys that hold their position. Really, what they're telling me is they're saying that there's objective morality, but they're saying that it's coming from their God, and I said submit, and anything outside of that is not moral. You know what I mean? And I just, if somebody could convince me of it, I haven't been convinced yet. I haven't heard a good argument for it. I hear a lot of dogma. I hear a lot of pleading. I hear a lot of begging the question, but no one has ever.
You ever see those arguments end well, where somebody learns something or changes their mind, or there's a definitive conclusion other than they agree to disagree?
Wait, can I just add something real quick? There's a difference between, and this is something that I've had to talk with many people. I've had to talk with people in bars. I've had to talk with people overhearing conversation. There is something that we also need to look at, right? And this is not in you, but you mentioned something that's very important. When you say a good argument, I am willing to listen to someone who has not to agree with, but I'm willing to listen to people who have a reasonable argument. The argument doesn't need to be good, but it should be reasonable to have me think about it. Some people get so caught in their stance that anything that is not overwhelmingly convincing, it's not a zero-sum game. Like it's nothing. And I'm like, no, there's nuance there that we need to look at, because everything has context. People like to live in a zero-sum game. It's black and white, yes or no. And that's not the way how the world works. So if it sounds reasonable enough, not to say that I'm going to believe it, but I should at least think about it. That's my point.
Every time I hear people have these conversations, not every time, but too much, you see two different people that are saying God is great, arguing about the intricacies of how great God is. And I see it the same as like people arguing Harry Potter lore. And it just
wrestler, I'm about to go serve dinner, bro. Y'all have a good conversation.
It makes my head want to explode, because then you actually start pulling up the text of what they're talking about in a Bible or whatever, and they have no clue what they're talking about at all. That's why Dusty's been doing that Bible reading stuff, is because I think that most people don't even know a couple things.
I think I can give it a try.
Oh no!
Hey Lindsay, hey babe, I sent you out for groceries like an hour ago. Why are you on the show?
Before you get cooking, I do want to welcome officially. We got Imperius on the panel. We got Brick on the panel, and first time OTW is on the panel. What's going on, my guy?
What's up?
So you were saying Imperius. Go ahead.
No, I mean I can give it a try. I mean I think in general you have to just look at the reflection of reality upon what you're basing things off of. I mean, if you want just a secular reality, you would base your truth, if you're talking about truth, on the reflection of how much influence or effect something has on reality, right?
You get to cooking. Let me say this: there are 1,000,001 good arguments. There are 1,000,001 good arguments. Most people just don't listen or don't care because their worldview is already set.
I'm like Resla. If you have let's not have a meta conversation about it. If you have a valid argument that you believe is valid, bring it forward.
Yeah, here was what I was going on. You would think that something is a reflection of reality is by how much it influences it, right? Like you would reflect truth upon how much something is true based on your identification on how much the thing affects through its purpose onto reality.
So I want to do a quick interjection right there. So you can have something that's a completely abstraction that has no basis in reality that someone made up, and we can all believe in that thing, and it can have real life effects on society, but really has no bearing in reality, like it doesn't exist outside of man.
And a good example of that is Jesus.
Yeah, I was going to say that or
No,
God.
hold on. We're doing a lot of precepts and jumping a lot of steps here.
I did not.
Like we're jumping around. Like if
So,
we're gonna
hold on, Imperius. Your claim was you can get a good bearing on reality by how something affects reality, and I just gave a case to where something that's
All the
fictitious.
atheists in the
Hold
chat.
on, Orthodox. But I gave an example of how you could have something fictitious that has no bearing on reality still affect reality because people's beliefs.
You can have abstract, not fictitious.
All
You
the
can
atheists in the chat.
you
be
can have
like,
an
Schrodinger's cat don't exist.
You can have an abstract. You can have an
Abstracts are fictions, but anyway.
No, abstracts. No. Abstracts
Is a
are
fiction.
a metaphysical description of something that we can't describe in reality. For example, the laws of logic.
Hold on,
they are true.
Orthodox.
The laws of logic are true.
I mean,
and they reflect. Oh my God. Okay, never mind. Reza, I'll wait until
hold on, Reza. I don't want you to get sidetracked because we don't. Okay, our definitions are different. I don't want to talk past each other, but the point still stands that you made the claim on how something affects reality on it can give you a bearing on how true it is. I'm paraphrasing what you said, and I gave an example. So let's stay there.
Yeah. So, for example, the laws of
Imperius. See,
you would say you can't have the laws of non-contradiction. Something can't be something and its opposite at the same time. Correct.
That's a great question.
I don't want to go down that road.
I'm gonna hop off the panel. We're not really at that level yet. So
what it is, sir, is you think you need to tell people how to think. Do you understand that probably we're just as smarter than you? All these extra words, we can get to the end. You don't have to lead us there the entire way.
Exactly.
Do you understand that? Exactly. Stop acting like you're smarter than everybody, and then we can have a conversation with you. I've watched you for about 4 months now. You do the same thing over and over. You go up there and you go, well, logic, blah, blah, blah. I'm a scientist. I'm a rocket surgeon, blah, 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 blah. We don't want to have a 4-hour conversation about the book you read yesterday, all right?
So
beginning
and he can make a case.
Let me put it this way. I'm not saying what Temple Man said. I'm not even indicting what you said. But I will say this because this is the first time that this is, I'm not gonna lie, this is funny enough. This is really the first time this has really happened that I can remember right now happening, or I'll just say for recent times because I don't remember any of the time. I understand that people are at different levels of whatever their positions or cognition is, right? But I always run on the idea I don't know what I don't know. But the idea is that if we are, not to say that you are, I'm doing this, but the idea that if people are running on the idea I know more than you, then quite frankly, it's going to be very hard to even have a real honest conversation if everybody's just looking to say that I'm going to be the smartest person in the room.
His words were just, we're not there yet.
Do not interrupt. Because the truth of the matter, at the end of the day, the smartest person in the room is the one that can at least admit that he doesn't know everything. Not the person that thinks that he knows everything, but can easily be disproven on something that he does not know. That's my point. Go ahead and go forward.
Oh, thank you for the compliment, Wrestler.
His words were, we're not there yet.
No, we're not at the part of the conversation where we're looking at the
He said we.
Yeah, we, as in all of us. I'm included in the we, dude.
Okay. You just have a hate boner for him.
Yeah, dude. Like I said, we, bro. I didn't even come up. Like, if you want me, like, you've seen me. If you've been watching me, you've seen me on all these other shows acting real bad faith. I didn't come up here like that.
Man, could you have treated Imperius like a dog? No problem.
No, let's move forward. Let's not do all the Imperius.
Yeah.
Just make the case. Just make the case.
All I was saying is, look, if we look, what I always revert to is the reflection of the best explanatory hypothesis in the scientific method. You look at something called the best explanatory hypothesis. You're never going to have all data. You're never going to have every single possibility, but you look at the reflection of what the data can most explained be. Okay, if you're looking at an existence of the universe itself with the trillions of instantaneous calculations that were done at the moment,
get it. You can move on.
Okay.
Fast forward. Yeah.
Okay. Lindsay, you're a woman. You don't get much. But like Lindsay, Lindsay, tell me what the weak.
Just move forward.
Lindsay, okay. Lindsay, what is the weak and strong electrical force of the universe?
Oh, here we go. That's the point.
Oh my God, dude! Neil deGrasse Tyson, get to the fucking point.
It's that you have 213 unchangeable constants in this universe that without a mind or an intelligence could not have defined, created, or implemented.
Stop it.
All right. Well, I need to bring a little bit of mind, force, and intelligence in here. What's going on, Melanie Cosmic Fox?
Hello, Resla. Good to see you.
We got it. It represents an educated guest, so I was wondering what you had to say after that, Imperius.
Thank you.
I'd say what I'm saying is that the philosophical principle of the beginning of the universe is a question that is a philosophical debate. It is, you cannot explain it with science. You have to use deductive logic, because there is no scientific method or scientific calculations or scientific way that you could observe the beginning of time and space itself. You have to look at what the possibilities are for time and space to actually exist through an outside cause and effect.
So what I'm hearing here is that the only explanation that you have for things that you can't explain are magic.
No, sir.
How many?
Again, it just shows how stupid you are that you didn't hear one word. I said 100 words, you didn't hear one. That's why you speak so many.
Listen to everything you said. Listen to everything you said.
How many of you believe it's possible?
And why are you so stupid that you didn't process any of it?
Can you focus for 1 second?
How many of you believe it's possible that we live in a simulation?
I wanted you to.
Yes. I go down that road.
Okay, so y'all go down that road, but the thing that I find really weird about atheists, because I'm a science Christian. I love science and technology. What is the difference between us living in a simulation and there being a God? Because they're both intelligent designs.
There's both are possible.
They're one and the same. They could be
exactly.
They could be absolutely one and the same.
I want to tease out what Imperious, because Imperious, check it out, bro. You said that you could make the case. We're talking about objective morality, but you just went on and just kind of, talked about a little bit of different science. But
Imperious likes to fly around the world.
No, it's called you have to lay the.
Hold on.
May
I make the point? May I make the point?
Go ahead.
You did not make a good case for objective morality. What was the basis?
I have to make the case for objective morality first. What is objective morality? It means there's an outside being beyond time and space with the intelligence, the omniscience, the omnipresence to impose morality, because morality is a reflection of intelligence, of cognitions. Shut the fuck up, you hole. You wanted me. You want me. You guys keep pushing me.
That is so Christ-like.
You're the hole that keeps.
You still. No, you keep pushing me. I've had enough of your bullshit.
We're trying to ask you to be concise.
There's no concise when you're talking about the creation of a universe. That's why you're so stupid. You want to concise things down to a nugget of a moron.
Okay, listen, you over emotional.
No, you're a hole. You're a walking petri dish. Don't ever. You walking petri dish. Don't you ever equate yourself to me. Don't ever speak to me like you're my equal.
You're such a good little man.
Who is that going on the rant?
If we were on flows right now, he'd be playing Talcott saying, God.
Gotcha.
I kind of deep in my heart really hope that Imperious is playing a character and that he's just really, really good at it, right? That in his everyday life, he's a perfectly ordinary guy who just goes to his basement and pretends to be this online asshole.
I actually hope so, because I've seen him have normal, productive conversations, so it's like sometimes I do think it's a bit. But in this particular case, dude, I actually get the feeling that he's losing patience. He's like literally just losing it. He's for real. It's not a bit. It's not a bit. It's actually happening. I can hear it in his tone of voice.
Yeah, that's why I pointed
his patience
it out.
is completely gone. Yeah,
is because if he's playing a character, if that's just a character, and he's been doing it this long, you got to start wondering, where does the character leave off and the real person begin?
Yeah,
he's so poor.
It's like when you hang around with somebody too long, you forget whose habits that sometimes you grab your buddy's habits or something like that. You hang around too long with somebody like the same person you go to work with every single day, 5 days a week. You end up, kind of like acquiring some of the same type of characteristics. It happens when you're in a relationship with a woman as well.
I get what you're saying. I mean, I never was a huge coffee drinker. My wife loves the stuff. I'll drink coffee if it's around, but if I'm gonna drink coffee, I want it to be good. And she calls me a coffee snob because I don't drink it often, and so I get really good coffee that I don't drink often. And when I do drink coffee, I'm liable to drink 5 cups in a day. But
you see, so it's something that if you were not with your wife, probably you wouldn't even drink any coffee, ever.
Hardly ever. I mean, every now and then I'll wake up with a hankering, right? Like a cup of really crappy coffee and a sausage biscuit. Nothing on it, just that, just a craving for some reason.
That is
Bro
beautiful.
already gargles on my balls. He wants me back so bad because I make more for him in an hour than you have.
Praise God, man. Praise God.
I had non-sexual
Wait a
orgasms.
minute. Wait a minute. Who played the Jack Talcott card, man? What the hell?
That's literally him playing the Jack Talcott card. Now the topic has
Yeah.
to be Jack Talcott while the card is in play. That's
Praise God. Shout out to
10th
Jack
man's
Talcott.
gay sex, bro. 10th man, bro. We really just don't give a shit. Imperious, please finish your point.
Thank you.
Yeah, you whole.
Thank you. As I said, reflection is a morality of intelligence. If you're having something with the superior intelligence, you can't question what it does. It has greater understanding, greater perception, greater. It's very true. Can an ant question your morality?
No, it just doesn't have the brain power to.
If morality
Exactly, and you don't have the brain power compared to an omniscient being.
That's not necessarily true. It doesn't necessarily.
You think you with your limited brain power that you reflect on these panels think that you're equitable to an omniscient being.
It doesn't have to be omniscient. It could be,
Quit interrupting the
dimension above
baby.
you.
Let the baby talk.
And with your limited intellect, you're trying to explain it.
Everybody wants to jump in. Everybody just wants to go at Imperious' throat.
I know. But the thing is I kind of agree with Imperious on this one.
A little bit. I also think that what he's saying is pretty sound, right? It makes a lot of sense.
Sure.
I don't see any inconsistencies in what he's describing right now, but for some reason, he's just getting a lot of pushback, man.
Well, you pull your titties out so I can suck on them at least. If I'm the baby.
Calm down.
That might be why.
Can I have the titties at least?
Your point.
Can I have the titties to suck on after I'm done?
Focus.
You two are gonna make beautiful babies together.
I know. Dude, you have no idea how much Lindsay rubs one out with her. She also has. She has that. No, she has the what is the water one? What is that called?
Imperious. So with
Bring
morality,
them back,
right?
Brick. Bring them back, Brick.
Yeah, if morality exists, so that we don't have to agree that morality exists. In fact, I'm one who would say it doesn't. Right? If morality exists, then yes, it would stand to reason that it would only exist within a mind.
Exactly.
Is that simple?
Yeah, there's actually a great quote from a book that we all kind of know that I'll bring up in a second that talks about that everything in itself only is reflective in reality from the human mind. If there is no human mind to observe it, it isn't real.
Right. Well, that would.
It is the Schrodinger's cat, but there's a greater question than the Schrodinger's cat. There's a larger question than the Schrodinger's cat. There's actually. Okay,
you made a point. You made a point.
Hold on a second.
And it's
Moral
right. You made a point.
establishment has been
that
made
is true.
over time.
Go ahead, Brick.
Well, no, Orthodox is no. I want him to go Orthodox.
I'm eating right now. I'll go ahead.
Oh, are you? Oh, that was OTW.
That was me. I'm the guy
OTW's
next to you. OTD.
I kind of want to take a bite.
I apologize. It
It's
sounded
something
like
that's established through time.
Oh, it's mine. You can't have any.
Yeah, I don't disagree with the mind, but it's something that if the humans establish over time, over all kinds of different events that happen, wars, all kinds of. It's something that was established, within tribes, and eventually freaking fused with other tribes, and then it's like this morality thing is something that humans establish because of how immoral we can be and how despicable and how easily we can destroy, So I think that's how it was. It's not some god that came up with it.
Yeah, I agree with you. I would say if everybody
stare into the face of Satan,
morality definitely.
Mind if Wrestler, can I read? Right, Wrestler, can I read a quote real quick when he's done?
Wrestler, can I say something too, please? So I just want to point out, I can quickly argue for objective morality. Not all morality is objective, but there is such thing as objective harm, and avoiding that objective harm, the principle of beneficence, is an objective morality.
Morality is just as valid an
Hold
argument
on,
for thought, right, claim. They're all claims, by the way. Every one of these things that you're talking about within the metaphysical reality, these are just claims. My morals are better than your morals. My rights are better than your rights.
Right, but I'm making claims about reality.
So beyond that,
but I'm willing to commit violence. So at the end of the day, I'm correct.
Beyond the claim, is it something that you're willing to compromise for? Are you willing to sell for it?
Let me read you something. I'm going to read you a quick quote that I think you should know by who's it's talking.
Carry on.
I hate to be that guy, but the one who's willing to perpetrate the most violence on individuals is generally the one that dictates reality in the immediate vicinity.
Well, if you look at it from the law of the jungle, then it's the survival of the fittest. So
like I said, I hate to be that guy.
No, what you're saying makes sense in nature.
You know what's been going. What's been going on over here, OTW.
Amongst humans, it's not necessarily the fittest and the strongest. Sometimes the smartest are the ones who are at the top of the chain, right? That's the difference between nature and humans.
Yeah.
Yeah, over here
You
they're
don't have
acting
to be very strong and powerful. You can, you can beat up anybody you want, but you're not, you're not immune to a bullet, right? So that's
Yeah, no.
Well, to play off the bullet.
give a gun to Nerd and he'll take down the Rock. You know what I'm saying?
You're not wrong. It doesn't matter whether or not you believe in guns. They believe in you.
Yeah.
Bullet with a name, I'll mark your name on it and put it in there. But either
No,
way,
that's
over here they're acting like, oh, firearms are illegal. They're throwing rocket launchers off the balcony. But even now, right now, literally right now, they're acting like they don't care. You know what I mean? They don't give a fuck.
I don't think it's
And
illegal.
they have
to own a
massive
rocket
amounts of
launcher.
fucking firepower and shit, but it's illegal, right? So, like, look, it's not like the U.S., Like, over here, you're going to have to pay a few grand in order to have a gun. And everybody has guns. And, like, you think you're going to make it illegal and it's going to do anything? Making guns illegal, all it does is open up a new market.
But to my
We're
point,
going to
it's not
secondary
illegal
market
to
and
own a
sell
rocket
blocks for
launcher.
$3,000 you get for $800, right? Okay.
Rocket payloads are illegal.
Bro, no one cares.
They got them printing them now. They got them freaking printing plastic guns and shit now. And what the hell, dude?
Bro, they got assault rifles, they got switchers, everything. They've been printing switchers, right? Like, even in the U.S., that's illegal, right? When you put a switch on it, it's automatic.
There's a whole conversion market up here in Canada too, where they take pellet guns and convert them into like a 22 or a 38 or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, they're actually converting pellet guns. They're using parts kits and taking the frames off pellet guns and creating that into like 22s. Or whatever, even like 9s or 40s, whatever.
Well, they even have pellet guns that are just as strong as a 22,
No, but like it's pretty much identical.
Yeah, they just want the trigger mechanism in that.
The frame off of it is like illegal to buy here, right? You can buy all the parts except the frame. Or an action, I think they call it like an action potential or
right. You can't buy the gun, but you can buy all the parts to make one.
Yeah.
Actually, when it comes to that lower 80, finishing that gun does take a bit of expertise. I mean, yes, any idiot could do it, but they would have to, at least understand what they're doing, or they're basically putting a bomb in their hand.
Yeah, you don't want to blow it up, right? Like, trust me, it's not hard to fucking. They even sell blade guns, right? Like, even retards, all you do is drill out the fucking. Because they put something to obstruct the barrel, right? Put a new barrel on there. You usually just shoot whatever you want. You can, like, shoot a flare gun at somebody. And yeah, I've been consistent with this character, Sasquatch, Sam Squanch, or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When does the character become the
Anything
person?
could be true. The so-called laws of nature were nonsense. The law of gravity was nonsense. If I wish, O'Brien had said, I could float off this floor like a soap bubble. Winston worked it out. If he thinks he can float off this floor and I simultaneously think I see him do it, then the thing happens. Suddenly, like a lump of submerged wreckage beneath the surface of the water, the thought bursts in his mind. It doesn't really happen. We imagine it. It is a hallucination.
So how do you start accelerating?
Jesus Christ, I'm done. This is why the internet, every one of you should be put up against a wall. Good night.
How do you start accelerating?
You can try, but I'll put you up against the wall first.
The Wiccan
How do you overcome the
wizardry actually operate upon this?
Well, I mean, homoeroticism and domestic.
Not the homoeroticism.
Exist within the physical.
Whatever you
So there is reality, and because there is reality, we cannot change certain things.
The cucked Yankee fears the
The
southern
reason
radical.
we cannot change certain things has nothing to do with our vision, our viewpoint, or our morality. The only real thing is what is tangible. Now, if you go off of that basis, if you don't go off of the basis of what I believe is true, then you can have a valid point to make. But if you go off of the ideal that morality is what rules you, I am going to say that you are willing to sell out every single time. Because eventually, guess what happens? Tangible things come into play. Money,
I have another way of
firearms,
thinking about this.
reality.
Wait. I'm sorry to interrupt everybody.
Oh, not reality.
I'm sorry if I get this wrong. Azila, shit. You tell me your name, but your first time up here. Yeah. What are
Hello.
your thoughts? What's going on?
My name is Eliza. Hello. If you guys,
Eliza,
yes,
sorry.
it's okay. If you guys get confused with Eliza, Allie will do.
No, I like it. It was just a weird spelling, so I didn't know how to. Shit,
Eliza.
By the way,
Yes.
I've been drinking for a little bit, so I
Oh
can't.
no, that's okay.
Everything pussy
Believe it
in
or
10
not,
years.
I spelled it
like
like that so people do not get it confused with Alize because that that
Probably
was
never, but yeah,
Good
like
call, by the way. I would have thought
Yeah.
about that. Yeah, good job.
But whenever we're talking about the morality clause or the core of morality, we have to remember morality is a decision, and it's supposed to be a decision that not only is in harmony with you, but it's in harmony with your environment or your surroundings. So as far as it being something that was established by a sentient being with a mind or a brain, and yes, even ants can have morality. It may look different than you, but it literally pertains to their community as well as their way of life as they see it. Okay.
How do you
So
explain?
hold on. No. Hold on.
Hold on. Let her get her thoughts out. Let her get her thoughts
Okay.
out.
So with that being said, that is what morality is. It is a decision. This is the reason that we still have people that make what are perceivably immoral decisions as well as moral ones, right? But if we're going to have a conversation about the morale, we also need to have a conversation about the ego, because without the ego, the morale cannot stand.
Okay, can I ask you a question?
Feel free.
All right, how do you explain people that are brought up in an immoral lifestyle?
It depends on
abuse. How would you relate them, and how would you give them the ability to make moral decisions?
Okay, well, first of all, whenever we're talking about moral, especially whenever you're talking about somebody else, you also have to take on account that you are putting onto someone else your version of morale. Because yes, somebody may go through living in an abusive household. There are many that do. But these are also the same people that don't go to school and start beating up their classmates, beating up their teachers, wanting to sit there and try to ixnay a post office or, coin the term going postal and things of this nature. I mean, matter of fact, in this wonderful country that we call America, and yes, 100% sarcasm behind that, okay? But in the corporation that we also consider to be America, there are so many things that are perceived as immoral, but yet we still have people that are walking, that are talking, that are still doing certain things that, as far as the social standard and the social view, are still socially acceptable.
That I agree, because some, I would say that, in the elite status, billionaires, millionaires, would have different moral standards than
Yes.
the lower class.
Exactly. And once again, that will go back to pertaining to their environment. And that also includes the people that they choose to be around, the people that they have access to, as well as the community aspect of it. I don't mean community as in a group of people where you have somebody that's supposed to represent you. I mean community in the aspect of these are the people that you choose to be around. These are the mindsets, the concepts, the ideas or ideals, as well as the conversation topics that you're taking on yourself on a regular basis.
So in other words, you're saying that all of this, it all depends on social dynamics. The whole moral objectivity is depending on social
And she said
dynamics, all
ego, too.
depending.
As well, yes, as well as your ego as well, yes. And hold on, for clarification, the reason that the ego is also a part of that is because if we're going to be 100% honest, the only reason a lot of people will do things that are considered morale is to try to look good or look a certain type of way to somebody else. It is not something that actually helps or hinders themselves. It is to try to impress somebody, to try to influence somebody, to try to persuade somebody, or to try to manipulate somebody. So
Agreed.
yes, it also has to do a lot with your ego.
Are you saying nothing is true and everything is permitted?
She's on fire, bro.
Wait,
Yeah, man,
she's
that was
fucking-
fire.
wait, first of all, I gotta say she's fucking cooking. I did not expect it. Look, listen,
Yep.
to the point of what Crab is basically saying. He says that morality is 100% subjective.
Right.
She's cooking.
And this is why we're in the position we're
What
in
was the
now.
point
right?
in
Subjective
anthropomorphizing the ants
morality,
unless
yeah.
you were speaking about moral
Who
ability?
cares until it happens to you?
Well, see, but that is
Yeah, who gives a fuck until it affects you, right? And then
right,
yeah, when
well,
you get pressed,
that
don't like
somebody
it.
was mentioning that earlier in
yeah.
chat. It was saying like, yeah, but that's solipsism, right? And I was
Yeah,
kind of
but trust me, some people out here they actually run this shit, and yeah, if you really until you're inconvenienced or something and you don't like it, it means nothing, okay? And then you're gonna start crying about it. I don't want to fucking hear about it. It's ridiculous, okay? It's basic. You don't go and fuck with people unless you want to get fucked with yourself. You know what I mean?
Relativity. And then you were saying that the ego has to be involved to have a set of morals. So, and you were claiming that these ants, had the set of morals. So that's why I was saying you were anthropomorphizing them. What is the point of bringing the ants into the argument if you're saying, what are you saying exactly, like with the ants compared to humans?
Sure. Okay. So the reason I brought the ants in was to pretty much make the statement that honestly, anything that is a sentient being is able to make a moral decision. Okay. Now, wait. Let me answer your question, darling.
But
Okay.
I got a
before we
question.
ask another
So
one.
the only sentient
Okay.
beings
On your question about ego, are you claiming that these ants have ego?
So I'm going to go ahead and finish my statement so that way you may be able to actually receive your answer while listening. Okay.
Wait a minute. How do you find sentience? Because humans are the only sentient beings on the planet.
Wait,
No, they're
Lindsay
not.
has to receive.
No, they're not.
What?
Lindsay has to receive her answer.
That was crazy.
But that's what religion teaches people, right? Is that we're above them all. They
How
don't
do
even
you
think.
how do you
Fuck
how
the
do you define
dolphins and the
sentience?
Wait. We need her answer.
Yes,
Thank
please.
you.
Can you give your answer?
Okay,
Sorry
so
about that.
yes. Okay. So my answer to that was the reason I even brought the ants into it is because they are still sentient beings, and how it correlates is because according to their community and their environment, aka they have a queen, there are certain rules and regulations that they also have to go by, follow, as well as certain things that happen in what would be perceived as reality, regardless of whether there are Homo sapiens sapiens there to view it or not, that would still be able to go along with the sentience and being able to have thought or to even be able to wonder outside of your immediate being, right?
Yeah, I don't think ants can do that.
I just don't. I don't
Actually,
agree
they
with that,
can.
but you're not done answering.
Wait.
Correct. So, okay. So the reason I sat there and brought that in was to actually kind of respond to the other gentleman that left. I believe I took his place. I don't know his name. But whenever I was talking about ego for the Homo sapien, yes, ego plays a very big part. Now, I didn't say we had to have ego. I said plays a tremendous part because we do have ego. That is also part of our makeup, right? We not only have sentience, but we also have a lot of things that come along with that.
So it was an
Now,
unequivocal parallel.
my dear honey, you have to listen. I understand you're excited. I get that. But sweetheart, you also have to listen. That's why we have two ears,
Pretend,
okay?
man, because I'm not imperious.
Okay.
I just posted the
I'll mute
definition of
myself.
sentience in the back chat, and humans are the only beings on this planet that fit all
Wait.
those categories.
When we say things like sentience, right?
Mhm.
Hold up. You know what? Just to make sure I'll stick my foot in your mouth. I have my own idea, but I'm gonna turn around and just look up the word in itself because I know what I understand a bit, but I know people like to pull up from different dictionaries all over the fucking globe to try to make their point. I don't want to.
My question would be, like, what is, like, regarding what you just said, right? There's been lots of important questions about like morality and philosophy throughout life. Like, is there ever a good lie? How do we use what you just said to bring clarity to any of those questions, or like the trolley problem, for example?
I don't know if I'm aware of the trolley problem, but to be able to go ahead and answer that, once again, morale actually depends on you or the person that is viewing whatever decision. I'll give an example, right? We can go ahead and use Luigi's, and this is only because this is a bit more recent, it's a bit more relevant, so people should be able to relate, or at least comprehend, right?
She's going to
so
describe
Luigi,
the trolley problem.
it is seen as immoral, right? We're talking about morale. It is seen as immoral for him to be able to take a life of one person, yet the person whose life he took, they've also taken many in its place, right? So they've had access or had a hand in taking of many other lives, right? So with that, once again, it kind of looks like, if you were sitting into the deceased's standpoint, then what would be considered morale? Because I mean, as far as they're concerned, none of the insurance issues have anything to do with them. That's all on the other people. Hold on, wait. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Well, see, I didn't know. Thank you. So
Melanie, are you a utilitarian?
Wait, no. Do not even think of answering that because that would move on to something that's totally different. Be very careful about what you answer and how you answer. I tell everybody not everybody, but you should definitely take a pause. Even when we come out,
Shout out to Mr. Menu. They're trying to say they're putting on the
imagination. Even animals, if you want to even put ants in there, are considered to be sentient because the first thing that they talk about is feeling pain, feeling pleasure, feeling fear, feeling comfort. That is something that even humans go through. That is the category. That is the category of sentient. Even to the point right now that we have to worry about AI because why? We are worried that
in order to be considered sentient, you have to complete all those categories.
Can consider pain, can consider pleasure, can consider all that. So if we host those very things all in the same, we know what.
1 second.
It is not about imagination only.
No, it is not about imagination. It is about
who keeps saying imagination?
It is about the ability to be able to expand.
I never.
It is about the ability to be
Lost your
able
mic,
to
Rizla.
expand outside of oneness or yourself. So in other words, if you can have any thought about anything else outside of your body,
I posted an entire category.
I never. Wait, first of all, I just want to say I never said that.
consciousness.
But I
No,
never
I-
said that. But the
yeah,
idea
no.
when people mention being sentient, the first thing that a lot of people, not just you, not just saying you didn't say that, but a lot of people go to the fault of being imaginatory. Like there are plenty of animals that have imagination. For instance, I never say shit about a dog, but I've seen a dog kicking its fucking sleep. It's dreaming. That's also imagination.
Thank you.
Right.
Well,
But
we don't
I
know.
always,
That's just
I always
what
had the
that's not
feeling that it
dreaming.
was about being
You don't know what
conscious and
I'm
aware
dreaming
of
when
your
I'm go to
existence.
bed. I
So
can tell
Rizla,
you, I don't dream at
You
all.
also don't. You also
But the
don't
thing
know
is,
that
Mel, that
kicking.
you claim a claim and yet you have no proof of it, or you claim a non-claim and then you provide no proof. You're saying that a thing isn't so. That's a non-claim.
Yeah,
Now
you
you
know-
want to say there's proof of a non-claim.
It's an unequivocal parallel. That's what I have a problem with. Is she not astute? This woman is smart. She's on fire. Period.
The problem is that
Yeah, let her finish. Let her finish. Let her finish, please.
When she tries to finish, I had to mute myself to shut up. Now
Yes, you
everybody
did.
else is interrupting her.
Yep.
So what do we
Yeah.
do? I'm trying to shut up.
Because she's breaking their programming. She's saying what I've been saying in a whole lot more words. I just try to break down to the bare nuts. But go ahead, ma'am.
I
You're very
disagree,
intelligent.
Rizla.
Go.
You say a whole lot of gay stuff.
By the way, Eliza, I don't think you're delineating between the id and the ego in a lot of what you're saying. And just to point out, the ego actually like thinks long term, thinks about like I have to live with myself and the decisions I make. I have to
Let
worry
her
about
finish so she
how
can.
others see me. So, and I think that's what separates humans from ants. And
But you know what you just said right there? You said that it's ego that separates humans from ants. You did not say that it was morale. So thank you.
Shit.
Not only that, but once again, I stated that with the Homo sapien or the Homo sapien sapien, yes, we also have other aspects to us, such as ego, right? I didn't say that everything had to have ego. I also did not state that you have to have ego in order to have morale. I
So
said
let me
the
ask
way
you this.
Go ahead.
You got
So
interrupted
then you
again.
Yeah.
No,
She just clarified that point.
How about you
Yeah.
go right after her due diligence?
Yeah, I mean, I said, let me ask you this. She said, go ahead. She gave me permission, but I don't mind if she
All right.
finishes.
Okay.
Well, okay. Let me say. Oh, is it okay that he interjects to ask you a question?
If she didn't object, then yes, but then other people got a white mic.
I asked her a question. I asked her.
Is it
a
okay
question.
that my
She was the one that was
projected
interrupted.
pacifier
Is
is
it okay that he
falling on the
interjects and asks
ground?
you
You
a
know what I
question
mean?
based on what you were
3-second
saying,
rule.
Eliza?
Yeah.
Sure. And after him, the goddess can go.
The goddess. Who's the goddess? Is it Lindsay?
Lindsay.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
What?
And I
I wasn't
What
aware
was
of
that
this
about?
status that you had, Lindsay. Can you tell us more
That
about
that
this?
is how
and
gods and
y'all,
goddesses is how I refer to as
we
other
just
Homo
jumped.
sapiens sapiens. So
We
yes.
just jumped. But anyway, I appreciate all the help, you guys, but I did ask the question. I didn't just interject. I said, can I ask you a question? And she said, yes. Thank you, guys. But anyway, my question then will be, because I feel like you're saying the same thing as some of the rest of us, just with different words. Then you also believe that morality is subjective. Then
Yes.
yeah. So I'm with you. You elaborated it in different ways, in ways that I wouldn't necessarily word it, but I'm not going to split hairs with you on definitions and verbiage and things of that nature. But principally, I agree with you. That's all I wanted to ask.
Right. It's so simple. All right. So is it more wrong to
Damn
kill
it.
an innocent
I'm
child?
So sorry. I am so sorry, Lindsay. He is the other goddess that is up here.
I thought I was. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry.
You know, my shit's super fast, dude. I listened to Buddy sit there and talk for 10 minutes about the same thing.
Wrestler's
I take
following,
20 seconds.
Be quiet.
Wrestler's reading the room. He's following the conversation. He's trying to keep it flowing. Good job, Wrestler.
I'm just saying, she literally said it was okay for Lindsay to go next.
Yeah, go ahead, Lindsay.
What she didn't say, Eliza, too. I know it's Lindsay. I think she's out doing somewhere else. But Eliza, will you compromise your morals? Will you sell your morals? Because we all had a chance to answer that, and you came in and you talked about it. That's the question.
No, I won't compromise my morals. No.
Oh, you want to get it, Wrestler?
So what exactly? So to go down to a baseline, what exactly?
Pause it for a minute.
Compromise your morals. What exactly? Because the whole point is that
We got
all your morals
Sasquatch
the
is
question
leaving.
is, what are you willing to do? If you're willing to do, because that's the point that we're getting down to. What is it that
Not
you
too
don't
late.
consider as compromise?
Shout out Sasquatch, bro.
What do I conceive? What do I perceive as not compromising my morals?
Yes, because this is the truth of the matter.
Why
I don't know what the
you having
threshold
your
of
own
morality
panel
is.
going? I don't get it.
Oh, you could ask that as well. But what I don't consider compromising my morals is being authentic to me. And when I say I'm not going to compromise my morals, that means that I am not going to sugarcoat. I am not going to wear a mask. I am not going to do a lot of things, regardless of how society sees it, regardless of how other people decide that they want to judge. I'm going to continue to be me authentically because that's who I am and that's what I love about myself. Okay. So with that, no, I am not going to go above and beyond to try to cater to somebody else to make them feel comfortable. What I'm going to do is continue to be me.
So I love the
And
fact
I
that
wanted to add to that.
I
That is
wait,
an
wait, hold, hold,
absolute
hold.
moral
I love the fact that you said that, but also we have to have bring to this whole thing is like it's not the whole idea of compromising is not necessarily it is, but it's not always about compromising for others. Sometimes it's about compromising for better situations, better living conditions. Sometimes it means even compromising for the people that we claim that we care most about.
Well, see,
Are you willing to forego particular things for particular ideologies that you have in order to benefit your family and for those who are around you? And what would that cost look like?
For example, Elijah, what he's trying to articulate, do you believe in the concept of the greater good? Are you willing to compromise your morals in order for maybe your seeds to have a better life or your ideology that you wish for the world to accept? Would you do things that compromise your morals in order for those things to have a positive outcome later on down the line?
That was beautiful. Thank you.
Well, I'm going to answer your question with a question. Who's to say that doing certain things to enact the betterment of my family is not my moral? And then if it is my moral, then how would doing anything like that be in the shape of compromising?
So yes, she has a price. She is saying, but it is within her morality, which is what we were talking about with Resla, how we learn to soften our cognitive dissonance in certain situations and and allow it because of moral relativity.
Well,
everyone has a price because at the end of the day, morals are a luxury and survival is pragmatism.
If I may,
right, because in a life
here's the thing we have to understand as well. The same way how the weather change, the seasons change, how the same day today will never be the same way it looked a year ago or 5 years ago or 10 or 100 years ago. It will be a different day. I know it's the same date. It's a different day. The same way how
morals are a
our
luxury.
ideal morals
That's pretty
change and evolve over time.
Morals are a luxury. Okay.
The price of abandoning your morals is not always money.
If I may, just imagine this.
Am I hearing this correctly, OTW? They're trying to say the morals are a luxury.
Dude, when you're in a life-threatening situation, morals go out the fucking window.
Well, that's self-defense.
But that's what I'm saying. Morals
So
have
that-
no sense
no,
when
but
it comes to particular situations that you find yourself in.
So like
Yeah,
the fight
it
or
all
flight
depends.
response,
It's
so what do you have
situational.
to- So what are you talking about? The fight or flight?
Pretty much, yeah.
All right. Well, if you're backed against the fucking corner and you have to deal with it, you deal with it.
Yeah.
Right.
Not-
Is it
that's not
moral to
moral.
end the other person's life if your life is at risk?
If someone threatens your life, then it's called a green light. You know, it's called being green lighted, and then
That's
go.
why I agree with what he was saying. It's like it all depends on the situation.
No, but that's fine though. Like if you're not causing harm and somebody's like,
There are the exceptions, of course. There are people that will sacrifice themselves and others for, whatever. But, typically most people will take the route of dropping their morals for survival.
Right. It would be a typical human reaction. In my opinion, I think that's like.
all right, and I think that's a part of the moral code, right? Like if someone threatens you and you're forced to do something, there's no other option, and you better do it properly. And that's moral. The fuck is part of the code.
Well, does it become moral
And
at
I
that
don't give a
time
fuck
or no?
if someone thinks they have a little code in their mind. Yeah, there's a real code that people live by. And
But does that make it moral at that point?
it is because they stand on it.
I don't think it is.
Yeah.
Well, let's look at it from a Japanese perspective.
I'm gonna
here.
pull up my sword and fucking disembowel myself if I lose a battle, right? Okay.
Yeah, right. Because what they focus on is honor, and in any given moment, if you're found in dishonor, then I think the ultimate
Yeah, you go and you kill yourself with a sword.
You have to take your own life, yeah, or something like that.
No, you disembowel yourself. You
Is it
put
called
your own fucking
Sudoku or
intestines
something like
in the
that,
ground,
or
yeah.
what's it called?
Harikari.
Harikari?
Yes.
Oh, there you go.
Perfect. You know, I have it tattooed on my arm, "Death Before Dishonor." Since a young kid.
It's funny. My father had that tattoo.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I have it right on my right arm.
Same thing. He had it on his right arm.
Yeah, "Death Before Dishonor," you know, DVD.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Your dad had it too?
Yeah.
Perfect. No wonder we're talking here.
Yeah, but he's not from Quebec. He's from Ontario. He's from
He's from
New Brunswick.
Over here.
He's from New Brunswick.
Oh, perfect.
My dad was from New Brunswick.
Yeah.
See, even Max's
my
dad
father
from
was like
fucking New
from
Brunswick,
St.
too.
John.
I think my dad was from fucking New Brunswick also.
Yeah, he was actually the 14th child. He's the last of a family of 14 children. Oh my goodness. I got a phone call. I'll play the video while I answer this.
Did I say it was always
family
money?
first?
May I
It's family
respond, please?
calling, probably your daughter.
Oh, I may not. Oh,
No,
are you
no, no,
answering
no.
him?
No,
Oh,
that
okay.
was, I'm
She was
sorry.
answering my,
That
she was answering my question. She was answering
Yeah.
my question.
Oh, okay.
Funny.
My
That was
apologies.
hilarious.
Well, Eliza
okay.
asked. Eliza, you asked me a question. I'll let you go, but I want to get a chance to actually respond to the question that you asked me. But go ahead.
So my thing is this, your morals are not the same as everyday duties. So I understand the host concept of, hey, it's the same day with a different year and things are different. Your viewpoint is different. The weather can be different. The season can be different, especially in today's crazy weather. But that does not, I'm trying to figure out how that pertains to morals, because morals are, okay.
I got you. So here's the question. Because you said that you wouldn't compromise any of your morals, so just let me give you some situations. Let me give you some dilemmas. Let me give you some examples, right?
Please.
So what about stealing? Would you ever steal?
No.
So this is the easy one, right? And it's going to be extreme. So if you would just engage in the hypothetical, the last one I gave you, you gave me a question instead of answering, but I want you to at least try to engage in this one, right?
Okay.
So let's say you found $1 million in an open field and it has somebody else's name on it, and you know that it's somebody else's money, but like you're 99% you're going to get away with this money. If not, let's say hold on. Oh, okay, so bam. Okay, so that's one. Let's get that out of there. So I'm gonna say I don't believe you, but whatever. But let me try to put you in another one, right? So let's say, what about murder or killing? Do you believe that murder and killing is immoral?
For me, yes. For
Yes.
others, not so much, but yes, for me, yes.
So what if someone murdered your mother? Would you try to implement justice yourself? Is there any
No,
situation?
what if her mom murdered someone else? She had a
No, make it more simple. You're being too extreme. Okay, you're starting
Hey.
and you see an apple orchard. You see an apple orchard, right? And the apple orchard's overflowing with apples. Would you take an apple?
No. Okay, so here's the thing. Here's the thing to go ahead and help them out with the murder scenario. My brother was murdered. He was murdered by uniformed individuals. Okay, my mother actually did a 20-year bid for murder. Okay, I still would not murder. Okay, so I have both of those aspects. I still would not do it.
Perjury
Now,
for your mother or your brother, which means that you would have to lie on the stand, just a teensy little lie, to get your brother out of prison or to keep your mom from going to prison.
Absolutely not. And the reason why is because the reason why they did those things is their own, which means that they were already ready to take on the consequences of their own actions.
No. Hold on, Eliza. So let's not use a real life scenario. That's why I like to use hypothetical. So let's take, I don't know, do you have kids?
Yes, I do.
Would you lie to keep your kid from getting in trouble? Let's say that they did something. So, Eliza.
Listening.
Would you still?
You got it. I'm gonna tap out. I'm gonna say I already said I don't believe you, but you already if you that self-righteous, I'm gonna give it to you. But I'm gonna tell you I don't believe you to your face.
I'm listening to her and she makes me feel so corrupted.
I mean, I feel dirty.
Guys,
I believe that you would fold on this one. Do you believe it is morally okay to kill dogs?
No.
Old Yeller, Cujo. Those two scenarios, the movies, would
Bro,
you
what
kill
the
the
fuck are
No.
you even like read, bro?
You would kill Cujo?
You'd let Cujo eat your
Okay,
kids.
hold on, wait, wait. Hold on. To answer your question, no, I would not kill Kuho. And actually, I read the book and watched the movie. Okay, so no, I wouldn't. Now, I'm also going to say, hold on. I'm also going to say, I would not have been in the situation that that woman found herself in, because once again, a lot of people don't pay attention to that as well.
Move the
Hey,
goalpost.
Eliza, are you
Wait,
vegan?
I'm gonna say
one.
first and foremost,
Let me get one.
you're the only person I ever know right now on the internet, at least on the internet, who said they gonna let Cujo live.
Wait,
That's
Eliza,
nonsense.
are you
Hold on,
vegan?
I got one more,
No.
Eliza. Would you lie
Interesting.
on an application in
Jeremy
order to get a
knows to
job?
say no. Look, this is the
Would you
halo
lie?
effect I was talking about.
Wait, guys. Well, first of all, Eliza, appreciate you being up here. Love the perspective. Definitely. Not for nothing. I already said it. You've been up here for less than a half hour. I'm like, I think I like this chick already. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. You brought forth a very interesting perspective. I love new people that pop up, but I need everybody at a time because
I'm sure that has nothing to do with that. She has a pussy.
and I love it.
Bring any bitch.
I don't have a problem with everybody asking
I
questions.
really like you.
One at a time because it's very.
You're
I'm loving it.
amazing.
I've been very
Yeah, it's
patient.
like-
If I may just ask her one.
I'm like due diligence. I can't.
Stop. Apparently, I gotta kick in.
This motherfucker needs to get pussy.
I would like to go after you, please.
Melanie, you can go, but you can go after I hear due diligence. When you go, Mel, then after you go, I want to hear from Lindsay. After Lindsay, I want to hear what Tim have to say. In that order. Go ahead.
Mine's going to be short and sweet, but I'm going to have a caveat once you answer. So my question is, would you lie on an application in order to get a job?
No.
So.
Love it. I love it.
He thought he was going to get it.
This guy's violating. The broad violated the fuck out of it. He's like,
so
I really like
there is no situation in the world where you could ever compromise your morals even a little bit. Not one exception. You won't save your kids. You won't lie on the application to get a job. You won't steal an apple from an orchard. You won't do none of this stuff. Well,
She's an untouchable, bro.
In the world will do. Eliza, you a lie.
I'm not lying. I'm going to answer. Hold on. I'm going to answer your question. Hold on. I'm going to answer your question. Okay, so.
Let me say this where you go. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I'm trying to be funny. So I hope you.
Oh no, I understand. I understand. So here's the thing. The way I raise my children, I raise them already understanding the consequences of their decisions. Okay, so I don't wait till they reach the age of maturity for them to actually learn the consequences the hard way, because I've been sitting there trying to be gushy mom. That's not my job. My job is to prepare them for the world, no matter how hectic it may look, no matter how beautiful it may look. I also do tend to, emphasize on looking at the beautiful things, taking a moment, breathing it in. You don't have to rush. Okay, so no. I don't have to lie for my children. That's part of their upbringing. Is if they do something, they need to go through the consequence now. Because if they do not go through it now, they will be forced to repeat the cycle as they get older, and that can cause more damage. That's one. Secondly, whenever it comes to stealing, no, I don't have to steal. I'm not saying that I live in abundance, but what I need, I find a way to be able to provide. Or my husband finds a way to be able to provide. Or I also have a support system that finds a way to be able to provide. If that support system cannot do it, I don't have any problem rolling up my sleeves and making it do what it do. Okay, that's two. For all of the scenarios that you guys are given, and I get that, you don't have to believe me. That's okay. I just met you. But let's also take in consideration the way you perceive somebody else is based off of the trauma that you've had. I have not lived your trauma. Therefore, I have not gotten the responses of your trauma. Therefore, whenever I'm speaking for me, I'm speaking 100% legitly. And when I say I don't lie, I don't even lie on panels. Believe me, this is not the only panel where I've gotten on people's nerves because they're trying to influence or persuade something and it's not shaken and I'm still 100% legit. So
I actually have a better way for not lying, because I'm too dumb to remember my lies. So
also, yeah, I think it's my turn to go, please. I've literally written down.
It's actually Rez's turn right now.
I'm crazy right now. Who are you? I really go out of my way not to lie, and I get so much shit for it. And it's so funny that you're getting asked all these questions because you're even saying that you're a person of a character that doesn't like to lie. I'm like, who are you? It is so rare that I meet someone.
Jesus, obviously.
Who the fuck are you?
No, I'm not. I'm not white Jesus, and I'm not Yeshua. No. I am somebody that has made the decision, the active decision that it's an active, right. It's an active decision to make sure that the things that come out of my mouth are truthful. Because
I know, but when you say this stuff, then you make me say crazy stuff.
Pretty sure it's my turn to talk.
Hold on. I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna land my plane. For me, here's the thing for me. If I were to lie, the first person that would hear it would be me. It would sink into my psyche. And that is not something that I want to deal with. That is not a trauma I want to have to heal later. So therefore, I make a concerted active effort every day that if I am going to open my mouth, it will be nothing but the truth, regardless of how other people feel about it. That is part of the beauty of me being honest. I don't have to bow, or I don't have to submit, or I don't have to cater to anybody else's emotional standpoint. You cannot like what I have to say, and guess what? You have every right not to like it, but I'm still stand on what I said. So that's more important to me than catering to somebody else's feelings.
So I appreciate what you're saying, because I said this even. So we run into so many different people, whether you are influencers, and the reason why you're new here, so I'm gonna say I categorize my opinion only. I categorize people as two different people who tend to show up on panels, because either they're very comfortable showing up on panels, and I look at them as influencers.
You muted yourself.
You muted.
Muted, bro.
I hit my mic.
So I
Sorry.
thought we were taking turns.
And again,
Maybe it's a sign.
Mel wants to talk.
I need it. By the way, folks.
I'm ready to have more questions. The more y'all
By the way,
talk.
folks. By the way,
Right,
folks.
Venus, mirror, mirror. Who's the most virtuous?
Doing it this week. We need to promote the new sound system fund, because obviously I keep buying mics that keep going the fuck out. So we need to promote to a good sound system fund. All
You
right.
need an analog mic, man. You can't go wrong.
Damn it, help me buy it. I ain't rich. Not everybody on YouTube is making money. Not everybody's Mr. Beast. God damn it. What are we doing here?
Come on, man. It's $170 for a decent.
No,
analog
it's more
mic.
than 100. I gotta buy a whole new set. I don't have anything to plug into an XLR. Not one. In fact, the very mic you're looking at has amps built into it. All right.
They actually, hold on, they had a whole setup, and maybe this is because I also frequent TikTok, but on the TikTok shop, they actually had an entire setup, and they had it for like $34. I'll send you the link.
You'll have to show me what it is.
That's true.
Yeah.
She's absolutely right. On Amazon, you can get it. You get whole kits, the whole thing, everything.
Yeah.
Even a soundboard.
You'll have to show me. I'm not saying it doesn't exist. You'll have to show me it.
I'll drop the link within 5 minutes.
God damn, I am so tired of my. I'm on my third mic now. I'm on my third. No, keep in mind, my first mic actually does work, but when I tell you I have so many USB ports, I have a whole big system that
I don't think it's your mic, because your camera keeps freezing too.
You're a liar. Oh, you almost made me
I'm telling you.
You're a liar. you're a liar.
Maybe it's StreamYards.
It could be StreamYard, but it ain't me. It ain't me.
It could be a hardware and a software issue, as well as an internet connection issue.
Anyway, let's let Mel go before she spurges.
I will say, even though I live in a very
You're
there's a lot of
fucking
businesses
retarded.
around me. So while I'm not paying for a corporate internet, there are a lot of businesses around me. So I know that just by wiring, because I used to be a tech myself, I get something decent compared to what people who are living in like more secluded areas are. Not rural, just secluded. So like I can say that. You don't know this, Eliza. I'm here in New York City, so there's some things I'm going to get away with because of my background, and that's it. Thank you. By the way, thank you, Brick. Thank you, Brick, for the $1.99. I appreciate you, my guy.
That's a banana peel because we slipping.
Yeah.
I have a very short question. Very easy.
Sasquatch, get in line. Get in line, Sasquatch. Get in line.
The funny part about like what I'm saying in terms of you, Eliza, is that I get up here and I say a lot of things to people up here. The same way I am in my normal life. What I do not tend to do. I'm not saying I'm perfect.
Can you say this in a DM by chance?
You want to DM me? Is that what it is?
I'm just saying you can save a lot of time for all of us.
She's trying to tell you to shut up. So
I'm not. No, I'm not here to save time for y'all. I'm here to long stroke you. I'm here to give you as much time as possible. So,
I appreciate
I tend not to lie. What I tend to do is, if I'm just going to be salacious, just be funny with you, or I tend to just omit. The most I try to do is admit. I try not to lie. And
he also likes to waste your time.
Yeah, cool. This is Restless Panel.
Happy that you felt it. Is that deep enough for you, Mel? Is that deep enough for you?
Saying, hope you don't appreciate your time.
And no, I didn't record this. I'm playing this directly off of Restless Panel.
Eliza, you can do whatever you want.
Wait,
Quit stroking, Eliza. My time isn't wasted. I actually enjoy intellectual conversations. On top of the fact that if we're going to sit there and talk about long stroke, I think your POTUS already has you beat because he's fucking everybody in the asshole hard with no lead.
Hey,
we went there.
Permit you to have
Sasquatch, is it your turn?
I dropped in a private wrestling.
Yeah, I didn't ask you either.
Wait, I love the fact that everybody's going to their point, but I did say we need to hear Mel. I still haven't heard Lindsay, and then we can go from there.
Yeah, and the link.
I'm cool with
kit,
letting Sasquatch go first.
Podcaster kit. The link is in private. Wrestler, go check it out.
All right, I'll go take a look at it. Mel, go ahead. Don't long stroke.
Thank you. I mean, I've been given a lot to ask. So you said that you wouldn't lie, but don't you think that you have certain duties that are stronger, like protecting your children? So like say like there was an obscene punishment for stealing, right? And it's murder, and your child steals. Like obviously murdering them isn't going to teach them a lesson. You just need to teach them not to steal. Don't you think it would be a good lie to protect them from stealing? Number two, you said you're not vegan. And I have to ask you, if you wouldn't kill a dog, why would you kill a cow if your morals are consistent?
Wait, what?
if you have a
I agree with Mel. I agree with Mel.
If you have a
Stop making me agree with Mel.
If you have a double
real,
standard
real.
for pets, if you have a double standard for pets, that's arguably selfish and based on how you feel about your pets versus how you don't feel about cows. And in general, I'm wondering what the general source of your morality is. Do you get this stuff from the Bible? Where do you get the sense of what is right or wrong? Are you utilitarian? Do you have a notion of like these different camps?
Okay, so to answer, to answer your question, no, once again, even for my children, I still would not lie. If I were in a living situation, or let's say in a country where the punishments for stealing or any other crime for that matter were so extreme, thank you, that's the word I'm looking for, were so extreme, then I would leave. I do have the ability to do so.
That's not always true.
Hold on, wait, no, that's not true for you. I'm talking about anecdotal. I do have the ability to leave. Okay, and to rebuild. That's one. Two, once again, I never killed the cow. So I can understand if you were sitting there saying murder was bad, but I didn't kill the cow. Now, once again, wait, hold on, because you asked 3 questions. I'm going to answer them.
I'm just asking a quick clarifying question.
Yes, but once again, we're going to stay focused, okay? So there is also a rule that I grew up with. It's called waste not, want not. So what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to sit there and waste something that's on my plate. And if the cow has already passed, once again, not my hand, then I will not let its sacrifice go in vain, because I also believe that's spiritually immoral for me. Now, number 3, number 3, where I get my morals are honestly from me, internalized. There is no, I don't get them from a book. I don't get them from anybody else's ideology. These are things that work for me. Okay. These are things that work for me. They fit for me, which is one of the reasons why we have a lot of people that are getting triggered by them. So okay, cool. If you would like to call it egoism, cool. Go ahead and call it that.
No, you're just relating it to lifestyle.
Thank you. It is personal choice, personal lifestyle. Now, here's the thing. I am not a leaf. That means that my ego, not my ego, but that means that my morals are not going to change depending on something else happening, or depending on a fear-based mentality of, oh my goodness, if that happened to somebody else, that could happen to me. No, my morals stand firm.
Yeah, that's
So
how they sell insurance.
Just one quick clarifying question. You would let your children die because they stole something, just because that's where you lived, assuming you couldn't get out? You wouldn't just lie to protect them if you had no other choice?
So a clarifying question. Did I not answer that already? You just didn't like
I'm saying if you had no other choice, you couldn't get away.
But see, I never said there was no other choice. I said that I have the ability to leave.
Eliza, she's asking you to engage in the hypothetical. She set the boundaries, and you adding in an option that she didn't give you. Given the options that she gave you, she just wants you to entertain the hypothetical.
Can there ever be a good lie?
For me, no.
Oh, okay.
So if that meant
she better leave before I get to talk, I'll tell you that.
May I just to be super clear, if that meant letting your children die, you would do that just so you didn't lie and violate your own personal.
That's a hypothetical.
Yeah,
what I would say. I would
about
not
that
say that
card
there
that
are
I made
good
last
lies,
year
but I
for
would
that
say that
game
there
that I
are
came up.
beneficial lies. Not that I agree with them. Not that I agree with them. People do lie for other people's benefit. I will say that. For instance, one of the beneficial lies that I wind up going through is me keeping my
man.
mouth
Bex is
shut
up
when I
to
hear
date
something
with
that's not
everything,
for me
man.
to
She
hear,
knows
but it's in front of me.
she knows what's going on, man.
I keep my mouth shut.
Lying is a spectrum.
Yeah, but how far does that go? Like,
what we call is omission. I keep my mouth shut because it had nothing to do with me.
Yes.
Right, but morally,
lying is not an
morally
absolute.
speaking, dude,
It's a spectrum,
you would
I
say
think.
something if it was causing another person loss, injury, or harm. Would you not?
I'm not there for them making their own bad decisions.
It's Lindsay's turn now, as per Risla's rules, and she handed off to Sasquatch.
I want to come back to this with you, Wrestler.
Sure.
Actually, before we go, can I answer his hypothetical, since I have to go ahead and obviously there's rules I have to abide by in this hypothetical.
Yes.
So you guys might not like this, and honestly, I really don't care.
Okay.
If my children were in a situation where they would be put to death for stealing, would I lie for them? No. No, I would not.
Pick off the panel. No.
So if that meant,
How much?
if that meant that they would have to accept whatever,
I know.
they would have to accept whatever. I mean, once again, y'all don't have to like it. That was already the caveat to begin with. But at the end of the day, that's just me. You don't have to agree with it.
Wait. One moment break. I love it. I love it so far. I'm loving the conversation so far. I am being harassed from the chat. Sorry, I'm a person that likes to read the chat. And we did have a super that come in. He's being asked, Wrestler, are you doing bounties? Why are bounties so important to you? We are having a really good. Did you not catch a monologue? Wait, did you not catch a monologue? Did you not catch we were doing early today? Yes. we are really having a good conversation. The only thing on your mind is, can you disrupt the panel with bounties? We had a whole
This goes into our conversation last night.
I hope we keep her. She's fun.
We are really having a really good conversation, and the only thing you care about, can I drop a motherfucker?
You remember what we were talking about last night with it becoming a
This
cancer?
is crazy right now.
Well,
You see where I was coming from, Rizla?
I am. I'm sorry. That's not
Rizla, here, hold on a second before you continue. Why don't you just make it extremely expensive so it'll just discourage people from wanting to do it?
$200.
It's like, yeah, it's $100 to drop a panelist for 5 minutes.
But wait, we had this conversation, whatever. Like,
she's making it fun.
Did it not just call into what I was even talking about even last night? Like,
No, you were right. It's a cancer.
It's this very conversation right now. About
we got something good going. Someone's like, you know what? I need to throw a grenade and get rid of people, even though they're not moving in bad faith.
Well, that's why I asked, do you want to make money or do you want to make money? Or
Wait. And everything being said, he's still holding his dick, talking about. So no.
I'd still like to have my turn, but I would like to have Sasquatch go before me if that's okay, because he's been waiting forever.
You can have Sasquatch go. You know what? Here's what I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna make it a panelist. Since you guys were affected, it's not anyone else. I'm gonna do this for Saturday because I don't think I'm gonna do this tomorrow. Dude, would you like bounties being up here?
Yes. I'll let you make money, bro. I don't care how you make money. Get the bag, fix your mic, do better content. That's the whole reason I'm here.
Yeah, at least do it till you get your mic.
So I fit 3. I got 3.
Yeah, please do till you get your mic.
I got 1 no. I got 3.
It would be a morally sound decision to actually implement some beheadings or like panel removals. It would be morally sound, yes, because it's already a certain time limit, right? You're removing them for if all the panelists have to do is be patient backstage for 5 to 10 minutes. Big deal.
So that's your morality. Here's
my
morality.
I am
You want
totally
my morality?
corrupt, bro. Nobody has asked me any freaking questions since I got here.
Rick, to be honest, I don't really care about your
No,
morality.
Melanie, we don't care what you gaily say either.
Yeah, I don't care what you straightly say.
We don't care that you suck a lot of cock, Melanie.
I don't care.
You don't care what he retardedly says.
There's nothing wrong with sucking a lot of
We can
cock.
play the game. We can play the game tonight.
No, it is for me. It is for me.
I'm speaking for the female Homo sapien sexual.
Rick's just jealous that I actually get action.
That was the first thing she said that actually made me like her.
Man, let's move forward.
Let's let it's entirely
Let's
your
not do it,
choice.
Rick. Let's not Melanie Rick.
He feels neglected. Rick feels neglected.
What's wrong with Brick? Brick, are you alright, man?
Stop.
Brick, you need a hug, Brick?
Stop. Again, I like to do a bit of democracy. And since it's the people that are really on panel who are going to take the hit, which is why they're asking for bounty, because they're not asking whether I can cancel somebody else who's in the chat. They're asking for people who are here on the panel. I just need a yay or a nay across the board. We already heard 3. It's OTW, it's Sasquatch, it is Melody right now. I just need to hear a yay or a nay. I don't need to hear about Cinderella and the 7 Dwarves. I don't need to hear about that one time back in band camp. I just need a yay or a nay. I don't hear about I don't need none of that bullshit. I just need a yay or nay. 10 man, yay or nay.
Yes.
Oh, okay, cool. Due diligence, yay or nay?
Yay.
Orthodox, yay or nay?
Based on me and your conversation, I have to say nay.
Okay, we got 2 nays. Lindsay, yay or nay?
Yay.
Okay. Eliza, yay or nay?
We got majority already.
The yays have it.
The majority rules, so apparently you can throw out bounties. And I'm gonna let you know right now.
I wasn't even gonna answer. I was gonna refuse to answer because this is stupid, bro.
Yes, you abstain. We understand, Congressman.
I understand.
I did want to have a caveat onto that, though. The caveat that I wanted to add on to that was this. You know what? I'm all for having bounties if we can have a mature enough crowd that'll sit there and do it and not based off of their ego and the fact that somebody says something to hurt their feelings.
Yeah,
You just said all your rules are based on
I don't know how I feel about that because
I said the bounty. Even though we know they're not going to do it.
I am very wary about that because here's the matter. It's things like with the kind of people that's sitting here on the internet, period. A lot of people get into their feelings over anything. In fact, a lot of people get on their feelings because they simply didn't do this one thing that I do in every one of my panels. They don't listen. I am butthurt, and then they get whether they leave or whatever. You know what they find out later? They weren't paying attention. I've had a whole conversation. I've done an hour. I've done an hour of monologue. Monologue. The same thing I did today is the same thing I do a lot of, and they go, I don't like what you said. And I'm like, what did I say? Why? This is the last 10 seconds that I heard of an entire hour. Oh, by the way, I want to bring up someone new to the panel as well. Appreciate you.
Oh, snap. Baby boy.
What's up, 5 Fifths?
Like a baby boy.
just walked
How we doing,
in.
my people?
We
Hello.
okay.
He showed
Okay.
up
There are
mad
lots of people.
earlier, too, and
Someone
I
keeps
forgot
knocking
to
at the door
shout
trying to
him
get in
out.
as
I
well,
was
but we got
busy.
full panel right
I
now.
was on
So,
the phone.
so I'm gonna say this is apparently people have even in the panel have
Shout
agreed
out to
that they
Five
could be dropped.
Fifths.
I just
Oh
did that
my
for the
god.
drunk people, for the really,
Oh my
really
god.
drunk people.
Hit
That means
that
if
like
you really
button,
want
he
someone off
says.
the panel, you're gonna have to put up for it. I was putting
London.
up for as long as possible for at least the last hour. People have been knocking on the door.
Yeah, but you haven't set a price yet, and I think you should go with what the other guy said and raise the price quite drastically. You said no caveats, but I'm trying to help you, right? So
Thanks for being up
you
here,
should be a higher
Max.
price than some people charge, right? Because you always said you're not about that, but if that's what people want, then yes, but it's going to be like $5 a minute.
He's saying we need to raise the price of the brick. That is crazy.
$5 a minute.
Resla, look, you're going to have to sacrifice your integrity a little bit here too if you do charge prices because you don't like
not
money.
for the conversation, for your morals.
No, remember, it's just a little bit of your integrity, not your morals. No, I'm just kidding. I'm teasing.
Right? It's just
I'm teasing.
Look, here, I'm gonna right.
No, what
Wanna
we're
make
saying
the
is
point
you're a
though.
high-priced hoe. You ain't no fucking street trash giving hand jobs for $5. They
Look.
want to pay you, Rizla, the secondary only. You're secondary only to Jesus and Kanye West and myself. Like you and I are at the same level.
Look,
Let me know once
I
you
love
figure
it.
it out
Just
so I can
Rick,
keep engaging in the
I think
conversation.
we need another vote.
it's just fucking impossible to have a word on here sometimes.
Fuck. And they already agreed. They already listen because y'all already agreed on it. 10 minutes for 10, man.
Yep, I saw that coming. Lindsay, I believe you were next.
10 minutes. 10:44, sir. 10:44. You can come back.
Trying to give it to you first so that you could have a chance to speak, and then I was going to speak
Careful
after
about what
you.
you asked for, folks. Go ahead, Lindsay.
Okay, Sasquatch is not going to go, correct?
Oh, you want to Sass first? Okay, Sass first can go first.
Yeah, I'm trying to let him cut in line.
I was wondering whether or not such a strict consideration of morals and virtues has left you with a possibly deflated sense of humor. Are you funny, madam? Or are you always serious?
Are we speaking to me?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, honestly, either or. If I hear something that is entertaining or something that is funny, I laugh like everyone else.
Do you tell jokes?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
Hell, I'm incognito. Sorry.
Too
I just
short.
want to say very quick. Hey, Orthodox, we had this conversation, right?
Oh yeah.
Rabies, right?
Yeah, it's a cancer. I mean, that's the thing. You said you didn't want it, and I said, hey man, it depends on what you want with your channel. Then if you want to make money, bounty's best way. If you want to have an interesting conversation where nobody gets dropped down and not make any money, then no bounties.
It also allows for people to be bullied, like Brick.
I think Rezla Show is doing good. I don't never see whenever Rezla does allow it, it's not never no random somebody just taking somebody down. It's somebody being absurd. It's somebody being unruly. So let's have a progressive conversation. And I was going to give you one more dilemma if you don't mind, Eliza, because I'm still on your bumper. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause I don't believe you. I don't believe you. So,
honey, I don't mind it from the back. What's up?
So,
whoa,
Eliza, you are the queen, right? You are the queen of your nation, right? Another hypothetical. You can't add nothing or take nothing away. So give you another hypothetical. You are the queen of your nation. Your scout comes back and tells you that there's an army approaching, right? And this is one of the baddest armies, right? They are known for annihilating people, and your army is smaller than their army. It's like a 99% chance if this army make it to your gates, they are going to destroy your whole empire, your whole nation. The only chance you have is to meet this army before they get to your people and strike first, like do a surprise attack. And that consists of murdering these people. So my question is to you, since you don't believe in killing or murdering, would you allow these people to attack you first so you can defend yourself? Or will you be the aggressor in order to save your people? Because if these people attack you first, all your people are going to be slaughtered.
And you say you don't want me to add anything onto that, huh? Because honestly, I'm looking at it like, yes, I'm the queen of my nation, but is that not the king's duty? I've adopted the king's job.
I told you not to add nothing.
Sometimes the queen.
If you're the queen of your nation, if the king does not rule, you're the queen. We've had queens. If you're the queen of your nation, you don't have to defer to anyone else. You are the head. You are the head ninja in charge.
Would you attack or be attacked and be 100% deaf to majority of your people, or go attack first and have an 80% chance of winning?
I don't kill. So I'm looking at your scenario, and honestly, I'm seeing a whole lot of loopholes, and I'm trying to be respectful and not go for the loopholes because you left it almost like wide open.
wide open.
Gotta.
No, honestly, no, you
Yes.
didn't. Because the main
Tom.
thing I'm thinking of is the fact of you're sitting here saying I can't sit there and talk to a general who literally is the head of the army. Okay, that's their job. You know, and then you're sitting here and talking about that's literally what I'm thinking about is how you're saying I can't do these things, which to me makes no sense. Because once again, if I'm the queen of my nation, I'm also going to have everything set in place.
He premised it. He said,
So,
the way how it comes up, he premised it. The scout, the person who can see the advancing army, comes through, says, "Oh, the overwhelming force is coming here. These people who are dominated, killers. You're there with your general. The general's like, I trust my scout. They don't lie. You have your general, the highest person. He said, do you attack or do you just allow yourself and your people, by the way, and your people to get ransacked? Or do you strike first and try to minimize as much casualties as possible?"
I share the information with my scout and I also share it with my advisors. And then I also allow them to also be able to aid me in what would be the best maneuver. Now, mind you, the best maneuver supposedly, he said, was to be able to do a sneak surprise. Once again, he's sitting there asking me if I would kill. Even if I sat there and ordered a sneak surprise, that does not mean that my sword would be going into somebody and I would get the blood on my hands. That would be somebody else. That would just that would be me ordering something else for them to handle it however they see fit. But this is the generalized of what I would like.
But you can take the order. Blood is on your hands.
Exactly. So
is it?
Yes, you cannot command the masses.
No.
Let me engage with her.
Not only that, but literally, I was sitting here and talking about a scenario. Like I was sitting there and giving out other caveats to a scenario. I was sitting there and telling y'all the way my brain was thinking. So,
no, Eliza, allow me.
Yes.
Because I asked you, and then you said you wasn't. I said let's have the conversation in good faith, and I want you. I don't think she's listening right now.
No, I'm my husband's talking to me. Give me a second. I'm sorry. Respectfully, he kind of comes first.
No, that's fine.
No, that's good. The scenario comes out to be the same way, dude. Yeah, you're good.
I'll get back to y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and talk to my husband right back. I'll get right back to y'all. Hold on.
You're good.
I had it on the rope, dude. I was here with mine.
The scenario comes out the same way as this. Let's bring it to modern times, right? Let's just say you say, Eliza, you in a party or you in the club with your mans, right? And then one of your trusted friends walks up to you and say, "Yo, this guy said he looked at you. He's a notorious ass grabber. Notorious ass grabber. He said he looking at you. He liked the way your case is looking. Just saying." That's your scout right now. Your general says, "Yo, I'm gonna do whatever I gotta do, but baby girl, I already know you don't want me being in situations about whatever." She has to make the decision at the end of the day. Do you have your general, the one who has to be the one to draw the sword on your behalf, to be the one to handle that situation, or do you wait till when the ass grabbers are at your gate?
So check it out.
Hold on, wait. I'm back.
Hold on, because you got to allow me to clear it up because you agreed before I even gave the hypothetical that you would not add anything or take anything away. You agreed to that. And so
yes, I did. And honestly, I wouldn't.
Hold on, Eliza. I don't interrupt you. So right now we are measuring your ability to engage in a hypothetical and have an honest conversation, have a conversation in good faith. So I gave you the parameters of the hypothetical. This is the whole purpose of a moral dilemma. I'm giving you a moral dilemma. You're saying that you won't compromise your morals. So I'm giving you extreme circumstances in order to test your fortitude of your integrity or your morals. So I know it's extreme, but I'm asking you to engage in a hypothetical extreme situation in order to test your morality. So don't add anything, don't take anything away. Would you give the order for your people to go be the aggressors and kill first, or would you let your people be slaughtered? Because you know that that's what your faith is going to be, because you know about this army, you know your scout is not lying to you, and you know those are the parameters. Would you strike first, or would you let your people be slaughtered?
I would not strike first.
I'm sick of your shit.
All right.
Wait. I mean, hold on, wait. You just broke down that it is a fictitious scenario, which of course we can already tell. And you said that you were sitting there and trying to go to the ends of the spectrum with, as far as the moral dilemma. So I gave you my answer. And then you sit there and say, you sick of my shit. That's okay. You can be sick of it.
I'm going to take it. I'm still sick of your shit.
Hold on. My husband said he has one for a moral dilemma.
I got one for your moral dilemma. Yeah, I said it's wrong to kill people, but if somebody had to kill my kids because they stole, at that point, I'm going to kill somebody. That's my morals. That's my morals. It don't make a moral dilemma for me. My morals are what the fuck I decide they are.
And because his morals are what he decides that they are, that also alleviates me from having to even consider it.
Well, there's more to this. You put forth a hypothetical that assumes she has reached a point of being an empress over an empire without deception. If she has been valid to her morals up to this point, then she has reached that point through her morals and therefore would have access to all the things you cut off artificially from your dream, from your myth that you made up to try to put her in a corner. You just don't like the answer, sir.
But
But what if the morality
Let me answer that. Hold up. Just like talking about an actual empire without deception, Marathon Kev for the 499 who turned around and said, "The OTW get a facelift? Man, these dudes is wild."
You gotta let me respond to it because that's easy peasy. That's so easy, Sasquatch. You think that you said something player, but you didn't, because you can inherit. You can inherit an empire. You feel me?
Sure.
You don't have to do nothing.
Yeah, sure.
Hold on. You gotta let me. You gotta let me
All
respond. Be quiet, bro. You gotta let me respond. I'll let you say that. So you can simply inherit. You talk about I made all these presuppositions and assumptions. No, I didn't. But anyway, I locked her into a scenario. That was the whole point of giving a hypothetical in order to give her a more dilemma. And then what did you do? That's what you added more. Exactly what I told people not to do, thinking that you said something sweet, but you didn't.
You're wrong, due diligence. You're wrong.
I mean, I'm asking you right here. You're trying to say that I added caveats that didn't exist. I simply said your presupposition assumes she has attained an empire without breaking her morals up to this point. Why would you assume she's going to break it immediately upon running into a hard problem? She has no help. Nobody's going to stand with her. She can't talk to anyone. She can't do anything. You've cut every possible use that Empress would have for her people and then said, okay, what are you doing?
Exactly.
This is about her being disingenuous. Yes, I know you hate that word, wrestler. It's my turn, so I'm going to try to be succinct. This is about him saying, you know what, she's arguing for the sake of being right and not behind her morals, which include both emotion and logic. Instead, she's somewhat like a drill sergeant. This is not truth or false. This is opinion. Eliza is somewhat like a drill sergeant in that this is perspective. Things in her life have happened so that they make her have to be extra tough. And she doesn't need or have time for emotions and crying and being a wimp. She had to deal with her mother and her brother being imprisoned and etc. I don't want to go through her.
Analyze. No, you're correct.
Right. So she has made a way for herself to survive by being tough. But what I argue here, where the disingenuous thing is coming from, where the cope thing is coming from, is the very thing that she has to do to survive. It's because of that. Because she's had to be tough, I think what she's done is sort of dissociate her feelings, and she is going for complete cerebral cognition logic. And the problem with that, she can be that way her whole life. But the problem with that is when you're in an argument or you're making a decision or a discussion, and I'm using Lehr, L-E-H-R, as my argument. He wrote the book called How We Decide. He's proven, he's a neurological scientist, and he's done lab tests showing how our dendrites light up when we make a decision, whether the decision is what kind of yogurt to eat, raspberry or strawberry, or a big decision such as, should I commit perjury on behalf of my mother who flipped out and killed somebody, and I don't want her to go to prison. Huge decisions and small decisions. Both parts of the brain light up, whether you're trying to be solely emotional or solely logical. You can't be both. But she is so focused on remaining strong, and it comes across very well. This is not a criticism. It's just my perspective. If anything, she's actually very powerful, and I'm impressed. And she's intelligent, and she's taking control. But you can understand the psychology behind it, and why she would come off as being disingenuous when she refuses to see the emotional components of the argument, because that makes her AI-like and less person-like. In fact, she would come off to some people as being more masculine because of that, more like a dad, the Punisher, the one who lectures, the one who says you can't do this or you can't do that, and you need to learn your lesson. She comes off more like that because she has had to be tough, probably tougher than most of us have had to be. But I think that's also a handicap in how she argues here, because she knows how to argue in terms of giving the right.
Yeah, you're so triggered by her that you made you more annoying than her now.
In line.
Okay,
I need in line. I haven't heard him for a while, because he just threw his shot. I need
right, Sasquatch.
OTW, what's your thoughts?
I'd like to finish. She's thinking
OTW, I need to hear what your thoughts are. I want to hear what 5 Fifths, what your thoughts are. Melody, you've been bouncing back for. I haven't heard you from a while.
No, I'm not triggered by her. I like her. I hope you keep her. I hope she doesn't get any bounties. I think she's fun.
This isn't Pokemon. I can't say, Eliza, I choose you. That's not
Hold on a minute. I'm being misinterpreted here, which I don't like. Just like anyone doesn't like when they're accused of something that they're not.
We'll wrap it up, please.
I've analyzed this. I said in the beginning, I can be
now
wrong.
tell us your feelings about what everybody else said. Yeah, let's do that.
I don't. 10th man, obviously, I've triggered you somehow, but
No, but holy shit, lady! Holy crap! And maybe she had to be strong. How many times did you say she had to be strong? How many times did you repeat yourself in that diatribe? How many times?
It's not really a big deal. I'm done speaking.
I'm not trying to come at you, but holy shit!
You sure are.
Oh, wait. First of all, we know he's not trying to come at you. That's not reserved for you.
It's a good thing 10th man never
It doesn't do that. It's more of a bum batter kind of situation.
He's a bum bandit?
Well, no, hold on. See, because Eliza, I just realized while I was down in the basement and in chat, and I'm like, because Exiled, a buddy of mine, I've known him for years and years, right? Yeah. And he's like, oh, you never met my wife before? And I'm like, oh my God, that's your wife? I've known this lady for like 5-6 years, right? And I had no idea it was her. And I'm like, I'm sorry for what I'm about to say to your wife. And he's like, no, she'll be fine. And then he called her away. I don't know if it was about that. And then I come up, and then hold on. And then I come up, and I'm waiting.
Resla, this is about honest conversation. I mean, excuse me. Resla,
and then
this is about honest conversation.
I know, but I'm not saying. But then you
trampling on anybody. I have my own issues, of course.
Are on a diatribe.
You just got mad at Lindsay for wasting all of our time. Now you're wasting all of our time, 10th man.
Look. Can all the women on the panel please shut the fuck up for like 10 seconds?
Yes.
God damn.
Go ahead, Sasquatch.
10th, go ahead and say what you wanted to say to me, my dear.
I'll say it as nicely as possible. I understand where you're coming from because you and I have had a lot of conversations in the past. Right? Yes. So, but the reason why they're saying you're being disingenuous is because there is no such thing as a strict moral code. Nobody believes you that if there was a natural disaster here and you lived in the United Arab Emirates, that you wouldn't shield your gay son from the authorities because he kissed a boy in public and they're coming to get him, right? I don't believe that that's the case, right? Because your morals are based, that's what the other lady was saying is, or I think it was you, that your morals are based on where you are at the time.
Yeah, that was me.
Right? So if your morals are based on where you are at the time, then if you're in the United Arab Emirates, because that's the only place you can live because of a natural disaster, you have to live by their moral code, right? But you wouldn't. Or would you? By your own moral code.
I'm sorry. I'm lost on the question.
No. I understand. I understand what he's talking about. I would have my husband do that. Now, mind you, I would not lie, but I will say this.
Okay.
I would hide my son. I would not lie, but there are other things that I would do, and those would not go against my moral.
But you wouldn't lie to the authorities when you had him in your attic.
Oh my goodness! Can we?
No.
I'm sorry.
Yes, you would. Yes, you would.
Sorry.
And what the reason why I'm even proposing this?
Sorry, I have to interrupt because you know what there's something that happens. There's something that happens, and I need to be able to.
I was almost done.
No, I know, but I let you edge. You're not gonna be done. So there needs to be things that needs to be said. Like when I get it, people love to be in their communities or whatever, but the whole shit is not about whether you're gay or not. It's not about whether
it's not what the discussion is.
I was talking about. It's not about any of that shit. I don't want to hear the conversation.
It's about whether or not you'll lie, Rizla.
It was about whether you will sell your. Lie will be about, which is all about context, but you want to go lie about it. That's about safeguarding your family. But when you turn around and people start bringing about whole other shit, that's not what the conversation is about. I don't know why it's like that shit gets brought into. That's not what the conversation is about. Why is it we can do it without having to make it personal? Why is it we can't?
It's not about.
I understood where you were going.
I understand what you're saying, but the fact that how somehow this conversation snuck in, and it wasn't about any of that. Why can't we have a conversation without you having to be hyper? Can we have it without having to be personal?
Can we just ask the question?
I have so many calls to so people in, online, and outside, and I never have to say anywhere to have I never have to drag them into where I mind my business.
Can I answer something? Is that okay?
I don't interrupt anyway. I don't interrupt her anyway. It's not my show anymore.
He said I just worked there. Okay, so no, I would not lie.
It was a democracy half an hour ago.
Right, but I would hide my child. I would have my husband take my child somewhere else. And so whenever the authorities got to my place, then I still would not lie. But I understand exactly what you're talking about. I would still utilize.
What? Just say you would lie.
No.
What happens when the authorities ask you where your child's at?
I want you to know, chat and the panel, they voted for democracy not being a thing.
So this is why democracy is gay.
You free to reign with tyranny all you want. That's what they want.
here's the thing. I would not lie, because if I sat there and had my husband take me somewhere, I would not tell my husband where to take them. So if I were to sit there and tell them I don't know, that would still be telling the truth. So
Yeah, but you're adding in stuff again. You're adding in stuff again.
Now you're having morals in that.
Hold on. You're adding in stuff. That's what they got mad at. Hold on, Eliza.
Okay.
We're not talking about that. You don't get preparation time. He's in the attic. That's it. They're at the door. Is he here? You're gonna lie. That's it. That's why they're all coming at you about this, because you're trying to say that things are absolute, but there's no absolute.
Yeah.
There's no absolute. That's all they're trying to say to you. This is an old friend of mine, guys. She's a close, like I've known her for a very long time.
Yeah.
She's misunderstanding what you guys are trying to say.
Okay, so for that, yeah.
Absolutely good person. What I think so far, I'm my friends. I'll even go to hyperbolic instead of you think it's my black friend. You don't.
I didn't say that, Rizla. You said that, racist.
I said you don't have to go there. I literally just said that. I didn't say that. I literally said you don't have to.
Racist.
So.
Hey, no, I get where she's coming from, yo. What she's trying to say is while your hypotheticals and everything are intriguing, in reality, we have a lot of resources available to us before we resort to holding our integrity up.
Thank you.
It's
And
just
that's the thing. That's the thing people don't like.